up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Yo, what it do, baby?
Those kids are crushing the game. I love it.
That are the Maury Seinfeld specials. So, if you ever watch Seinfeld's dad always had these thick rim glasses.
I love it. I love it so much. Daft Punk's in the building. And to all the Daphnes out there as well. We are back in full effect, full swing. Huge, giant celebrity surprises coming up today, right?
Yeah, I got some celebrities that called in. They said they were big fans of the show and they just wanted to be a part of the show now that the show has really been taking off. So you guys will have to stay tuned for those celebrity appearances here in a little bit. Real quick, just want to say thank you to all the Dafts that have been listening. And we appreciate all you guys subscribing to the YouTube channel and subscribing to the iTunes. It really helps grow the show when you do that. We appreciate any comments on videos or story shares. Also, we got those challenges still. We got the Conga Line challenge. We got the Florida, a.k.a. Flow Rida, low challenge when, everybody gets low.
We need to post it up, and I think Flips might have won the whole thing. He got a Conga Line with Flow Rida, Florida, going low. And so I don't know. He doubled down in one video, and we're going to post that here. If it isn't already, we're going to be posting that. But that one changed the game right there.
Yeah. And there's also Drew's new favorite song, the Kokomo Challenge. If you're playing Kokomo ever or getting the band to sing it or whatever, we just want to see it. Also, if you guys still aren't on DMS yet, we got a coupon code for you. Use the coupon code Drew and Fuse Show at the checkout, and it'll get you 30% off your first month with direct music service. So if you're still waiting to sign up, do it. What are you waiting for? Also, we got a link in our YouTube comments. If you're listening, it'll be down below. It'll be for the Photo Booth Supply Co., their salsa booth or chips and guac booth. If you're in the market for a photo booth, make sure you use our affiliate link. It's not going to really do much for you, but it does support the show. So if you're in the market for a photo booth, make sure you check that out.
If you do it, I will personally buy you a Dare Daft shirt. I will purchase it for you and send it over. So
there you go.
If you buy it and use our code.
And
shirt.
The last but not least, we are still not sponsored by Liquid Death here. Not sponsored by them. We want to be sponsored by them. We love them. We love their marketing. So here we go.
I'm going mango today.
Just murdering our thirst over here. Also, we got a great guest for you guys today. While attending Rutgers, he started working with a small entertainment company. By the time he graduated, he took over the Rutgers Greek nightlife scene and held residencies at 2 major bars there. One of those he held a residency at for 19 years. That's a long time. Long time in the DJ game. He was once the official Club Med DJ and did tours in the Bahamas and Punta Cana for months at a time. He's now a member of the legendary SCE event group and an avid fan of comedy and a growing gaming influencer. Please help us welcome DJ Demand.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey,
that mug though.
I don't have a Liquid Death, but I had something to drink here today.
Best DJ ever.
It says it on the cup. It must be true.
It is true. Do you tell me you take that out and you throw it on the booth, right?
No, it's for my meetings. When brides are like, "Why should I book you?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's just best DJ ever."
So good. Dude, thank you for being on. I know you actually listen to the show because you sent us texts and comment, and we're so grateful for that because it means we have a real fan. but we're stoked to have you on.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on here. I constantly giving you guys like live updates as I'm listening to the show, like my input and stuff like that, as if it was live. But no, I love it, and yeah, you guys always have good guests, good conversation, and I'm friends with you guys outside of the show too. So it's awesome to finally be on here with you guys.
DJ Demand is one of those guys that we beg to come and hang out with us at conferences, and we're like, just get a ticket, come and hang out with us. We always we end up hanging out the whole time, every conference. It seems like, at least.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Vegas was like so last minute. I just whenever hanging out with you guys and just some of my South Carolina friends and guys from all over, like it's been awesome. I used to only go to the Atlantic City DJ Expo, which is coming up, this summer, every summer. But, then with DJ Collective in Vegas, I'm like, I just want to keep going to things, So, the wife is, the deal is like, I go to a convention, we go on a vacation. That's pretty much it. So
It costs you double, huh?
yeah, pretty much. But no, it's awesome hanging out with in person.
We have somebody special that's calling in. Actually, I'm gonna play this real quick. It was specifically new, and they've been listening to the show a lot. So it's really special guests. So here we go.
This is Arnold here, the movie star of Twins and Kindergarten Cop. Drew and Fuse are going to ask you a series of questions, and I want you to answer them immediately. Don't bullshit them. Answer the questions. Hurry! I'm after the chopper. It's now time for rapid fire.
I don't even know how he is a big fan of the show, and we were able to pull him in to do that little shout out.
Got to keep it fresh. You changed it up. I love it.
We didn't even change it. He did that for us. He contacted us.
He contacted us. He called in, and Arnold, thank you so much for calling in. We're big fans of Twins or Kindergarten Cop. Both of those are my favorite Arnold movies.
Kindergarten Cop. All right. So Arnold says it's time for rapid fire. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this rapid fire. And the first thing is first. What is the last thing you listened to on Spotify or vinyl or in your personal time?
Not music, that's for sure. I know you had a couple people talk about that before. DJing's kind of ruined music for me. It sucks, but like you guys talk about listening to silence in the car or whatever. I listen to podcasts and comedy. I'm a big comedy fan. I was actually just making some lunch listening to Flagrant, Andrew Schultz, and he just had Joe Rogan on, actually. So they're not smokers, and Joe is, and they brought some blunts, and it got really funny. So was listening to that.
So I'm a big podcast fan. And are you only doing on Spotify, or you do a different app?
I pretty much do Spotify.
Okay.
I was just using the Apple app, and then yeah. I mean, now I just kind of use Spotify for everything. But yeah.
I found a new app, and I haven't switched over yet, but someone mentioned it. It's called AIRR. And if you're listening to podcasts, you're able to actually save whatever they talk about as a quote, and it goes to save it later, so you can re-reference it, as a thing. It just saves that little clip for you.
And it's pretty much all the same.
Cool.
It's the same like library as it's on everything else. Yeah, I gotta check that out.
I haven't checked it yet, but that was something I wanted to mention. So that's cool. And maybe you could mention a couple of podcasts then, because I would love some comedy or just, some new podcasts.
Yeah. Like I said, big into comedy. So Flagrant's good. Joe Rogan, he's on so much and his shows are so long. You got to pick and choose what interests you. I'm not an MMA fan. I skip over those, but I like a lot of East Coast comics. Legion of Skanks is a big one. It's not anything to do with the title, but Big J Okerson, Louis J Gomez, Dave Smith, those are the three hosts of that one. I do listen to Two Bears, One Cave, Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, and Mark Norman and Joe List have one. Tuesdays with Stories, listen to that one. But yeah, I just listen to a lot of comedy stuff. And then on Sirius XM, The Bonfire is another like daily show I listen to. I used to be a Howard Stern fan, but a couple of years back, I just kind of drifted away. There was so much other stuff out there, and every 3 months or so, I go back to Howard Stern, and it's like the same stuff's going on. Like, you know, like JD's still awkward, Ronnie's still creepy. Like, it's just the same thing over and over again. Benji's still messing up. So I'm like, you know, I kind of check in every once in a while with that one. But
I like to watch his guests. I think he does really good interviews. I like to. I do watch his interviews, but they're a lot of just recaps on YouTube's. So
yeah, exactly. So pick and choose that stuff. But and you know, the DJ ones too. I try to, you know, check in with you guys. The Radio Shorty and Hi Kevin one and Nick. I mean, I'm friends with all of you guys, so I listen to all of you guys religiously. I don't think I've ever missed an episode of any of those shows, you know, of my close, you know, friends like that. But yeah, I always try to tune in whenever somebody I know is on or somebody interesting, you know.
Shout out to Radio Shorty. He's pretty much the feature in all of your Call of Duty and your new gaming. And
He talks a lot during games, so
he's on my way up. Dude, he cracks me up. And
yeah.
so you got the gaming channel too, which we'll get to, but we got a couple other questions here
Sure.
with rapid fire. What is your favorite thing to do when not DJing? So you said you like comedy.
Yeah, big comedy fan. Actually, I got my wife a job at the comedy club near us, the Stress Factory, in like right in central New Jersey. So that's how much I'm into it. I got her into it. She gets a job there now. She goes, you know, and meets all these famous comedians. And I think Drew, I sent you some pictures of the people that I've got.
dude, you sent me these pictures, and I'm so jealous because I had just went to a comedy show. Like that's what me and my wife do. So anytime we have a date night, it's like we go to a comedy show and then we just get lost wherever we're at. So I was so jealous of these pictures you got. Are just man, crazy.
It used to be nightclubs. Now I'm going to comedy clubs on my days off. But the comedy's big. My dogs are like, I just spend so much time with them. I don't have kids. But I got 2 dogs and I'm always hanging out with them. And then, yeah, this gaming thing is just, I was always big into, you know, video games as a kid, like all of us were, and then gave it up. And then pandemic hit and we had a year and a half of nothing to do. And, you know, for me, it like video games have been so big for me as far as not just like playing them, but like relationships and networking and stuff like that. You know, during the pandemic, all I did was play with other DJs, you know, like Nate Nelson put together his Warzone Wednesdays and we were all playing together. Even like with my family, my brother's in South Carolina. And like, we went a long time with, you know, we're close, but not like talking every day. And then I remember way back in the day, we started playing like GTA together. And all of a sudden I'm talking to my brother, like two hours a night, you know, which, you know, is great. It kind of brought us closer. So, I mean, for me, it's a social thing, you know, but while I'm, you know, getting all geeky with it, a month ago, I just went out, bought a ridiculous gaming computer that's sitting right next to me. And I'm like, the Twitch I haven't touched in forever. I'm like, let me just turn on Twitch and see what happens. And it's not going as well as the DJing was on it, but it does provide some funny clips. And unfortunately, with Fuse, all the clips I have with Fuse, I can't play because his language is a little too dirty.
Yeah.
Your Instagram keeps popping up. Your gaming Instagram keeps popping up on my Instagram, and I didn't know that it was you're pushing it. So I'll definitely make sure to follow.
Yeah,
but
I'm not expecting to go viral with that. I'm just like, it's for whoever cares to watch. I don't want to put it on my regular Instagram where I have brides looking at me.
Of course,
but,
I think when you go live, you got to go live on Twitch too. I'm seeing guys live on Twitch, or I'm sorry, live on TikTok too.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm seeing guys on there and I'm like, whoa, this guy's pretty good. Or like, I just like his banter. And the next thing you know, I go to his Twitch page and there's like 700 people watching him on Twitch.
Yeah. I found a lot of people that way. They just set it up like behind them so you can see what's going on, but you don't get the full experience. And then you want to see more and you go to Twitch. And absolutely. Timmy Toucans is one that he said, he's like, people were asking him in his chat, like, how do you get big on Twitch? He's like, you have to do TikTok with it. It's just, that's the medium right now is TikTok. So you have to do TikTok in order to get big anywhere else. You know,
imagine telling your friends, imagine telling my parents that I wanted to be a DJ and they just like banned me. There's like, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. But now you're like, hey, mom and dad, I want to be a video game star. And a DJ. Just the two things are just so amazing to me that this is where we're at in life. And I can't even imagine what my daughter's going to come to me and say she wants to do. And, you know, I'm just going to I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
These gamers are big as professional athletes or celebrities or anybody else. You know, Nick Merck says, 50,000 people watching him. Tim the Tap Man is playing in the Dallas Cowboys stadium, on their big TV. Like it's, this is mainstream.
Hey, I embrace it. I think I'm different than my parents, but I still find it funny. And it's one of those conversations where I always like to ask people, hey, what do you do for a living? Right. I've kind of shied away from telling people I DJ for a living, mostly because I hate the conversation that comes next. But, it's something
Same.
that I always like to ask other people that aren't me.
I'm with you. If I can avoid talking to somebody I don't know about what we do for a living, I do. But
see, you guys travel more than me too. Like I don't travel that often, so when I'm in an airport, I'm like, I'm a DJ. I got my DJ bag on. Look at me. I'm going to travel to do something. So.
Yeah. I get in the taxi and it's like, why are you here? What do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm vacationing. I'm visiting friends.
Yeah, there you go.
I keep it dumb because they're always like, oh, you must be really popular if someone's bringing you out. It's like, no, it's not the case,
Oh yeah,
but
when we're at the DJ convention, somebody that we all get in an Uber and they're like, "What are you guys here for?" One guy has to shout out, "We're here for a DJ convention." Great.
My always
there goes our entire ride.
We're a surf team from Canada when I'm in a group with a group. That's the response always.
Nice.
But all right, what's your favorite remixer or producer? If it doesn't have to be like DJ editor, it can just be like music producer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go old school. Kind of what got me into like Neptunes and Timbaland were like the two producers back in the day that like whatever they put out, whether it was pop or hip hop, I was just like, I need to get into it. I think the first pair of records I bought 2 of was like Clips, not Grinding, the other one, the Get Down, the because going back and forth with that, whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, those beats are just were always just so original and so different than everything else that you were hearing. Those were like 2 big ones for me,
Awesome.
And everybody from DMS. That's the other one. Of course.
Well,
no brainer.
I disagree. I totally agree with you. With the Neptunes and Timbaland, they were so massive at the time, and we have people that are throwing like Neptunes and Timbaland parties now, just locally. It used to be MJ versus Prince, and now we're doing Neptunes versus Timbaland.
Yeah,
parties.
I think I did a Twitch night of that once.
What is your let's say when shit hits the fan, what is your save the dance floor song? If you had to pick one song that you're gonna to bring the dance floor back with.
I mean, I'm mostly weddings, so every party is going to be different, depending on who the crowd is out there. But I will say, from the very start, before the computer DJing, I always had this deal with when I used to just be a DJ and I would work with MCs. I had in my book, I had the first CD was Michael Jackson #1s, and I was always like, if you hear Billie Jean, like, and nobody asked for it, like, that's my oh shit song. Like, run back here and find out what's going on because something happened. Either right in the early days, I remember my Serato crashed. I put that CD into the CD player, and the MC runs back. He's like, "What do we got to do?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm restarting the computer, but you got 3 minutes to figure this out." So that was always my go-to for that. Not so much save the dance floor, but like, oh my god, something just happened. So.
I carried 2 vinyls with me. It was Be Faithful and Michael Jackson Thriller. Those were the two vinyls that I carried with me once we went full Serato,
right.
And there was still chances that it was going to break. And I guess, I don't know about you guys, but I was way too broke to just go and buy a second laptop at that time. It was what it was, right? You didn't really think about it. You're like, oh, it couldn't have been the laptop. It had to have been the vinyl. That's what would have broken it. So those I totally agree with that one. It's a great one.
Totally. Okay, and what is the best non-curse word, one word insult?
I guess from the whole gaming thing, calling people trash or garbage. I just love it. It just kind of gets under your skin. I kind of like that one.
All right.
Actually, I haven't heard garbage yet, so I'm gonna go on with garbage.
Garbage is a good one.
What's go to New Jersey area food spot where you're at?
Okay, this is good. At Rutgers, we had this. It's not there
Can you
anymore.
explain what Rutgers is? Because I'm sorry,
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not a Jersey guy.
Rutgers
Only
is
been once.
Rutgers University, the big school right in the center of New Jersey. That's where I went to college. I live 10 minutes away from there. There was this parking lot that was just right in the middle of everything. There's bars on one side, student living, and everything. It's right in the middle of everything. And it was called the Grease Trucks. And it was these like 5 or 6 just food trucks that were all like in a circle. And late night, fatty food. But they had these sandwiches called fat sandwiches, fat cat, fat bitch, fat Coco, fat Elvis, fat everything. And what it is, it's like picture like a Subway roll, like a 6-inch roll. And like the fat cat is like 2 cheeseburgers, fries, lettuce, tomato, onion, ketchup, mayo, all mixed into one. They have one that has like chicken fingers and mozzarella sticks and jalapeno poppers and any combination of food. They just throw it in there. A week's worth of calories in one sandwich. You regret it the next day. At 21, it didn't really matter. Now I can't do it anymore. But it was like after the bars closed at 2 a.m., everybody ended up there. And I have friends that used to like pass through New Jersey and they're like, hey, we got to stop by the Grease Trucks, take us to the good one or whatever. There's like 5 or 6 different ones. So since then they did build this giant, like, student living and stores and everything. And obviously it makes way more money than an empty parking lot. But all the restaurants in town still serve this style food. So if you're ever passing through New Brunswick, New Jersey, get yourself a fat sandwich.
That sounds like what was that YouTube channel that did all that? Fuck, now I can't remember. Sorry, I'm looking it up.
But Mad vs. Food actually went there. Like he went there and like he did the challenge of eating like 3 of those things, which I think are literally like 3,000 calories each. So yeah, this is definitely a big, well-known thing.
All right, sorry, I'm gonna have to edit this, but I have to find this. It's that I watched every single one of these videos, and that's what that burger sounds exactly like. Epic Mealtime.
Epic Mealtime. It sounds familiar too. Yeah.
You gotta watch it. Everything was bacon strips. It was like it'd just be like everything was cooked with bacon strips, and they would just drive through all the fast food spots and buy the whole menu and then cook it into one sandwich, and then they would like eat it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, and we will definitely be going there once I come to Jersey and hang out with you.
I'll bring some down. I would say I'll bring some down to the expo when you guys come, but it'll ruin your whole week.
No, we're definitely we'll come up. Me and Fuse are going to come and hang one of these times.
Yeah, always welcome, guys.
Maybe we need to go before expo if we can, or after. I don't know. We'll have to look at my calendar, but.
I just couldn't imagine eating one of those sandwiches though at this point in my life. Like even hearing you discuss it, I'm like, oh God.
No, me too at this point for sure. I said, drunk at 2 a.m. though. I mean, we all make bad food decisions at 2 a.m. So
I did just have Drew's favorite food for lunch though, and that's probably why anything just sounds miserable because I just had Taco Bell. Drew, I'm in LA.
Pizza? Did you get the Mexican
I got
pizza?
all the greatest taco spots, but my favorite's Taco Bell.
It's the drive-through. It's what makes it. It makes it easy. It is what it is.
So all right. What is your most memorable night in the DJ booth?
There was First of all, this isn't part of the question. My favorite DJ booth. I want to get to that one first because there's no one night, but in general, dusk in Atlantic City, at Caesars. That DJ booth was so big, like the party was there. You would almost forget that there's an entire club in front of you. All the DJs would come out. That was like AM's club that he was supposed to be a part of and everything. And there are a lot of big DJs have gone through there. That by far is one of my favorite DJ booths to be in. Shout out to DJ Nine, who's the one that always ended up like getting me in there. Sat One, all those like, just dope DJs that were always going through there. My favorite night in the DJ booth, most memorable night, was at the bar that I work at Rutgers, or worked at. I just stopped, but it was, I think it was 2015 or 2016. Obama was speaking at the commencement, at the graduation. He was giving the commencement speech, and the bar's name is Old Queens. So he starts off his speech by saying, it's early in the morning, graduation morning. He goes, now I know a lot of you are tired from spending a long night at Old Queens. And all of a sudden, when that happened, I was sitting in the office of the bar just talking to the owner, and both of our phones started blowing up, and everybody's like, Obama just said the name of our bar. And I told my boss, I'm DJing the night for graduation. I'm like, I'll be right back. I drove home, went into Ableton, took the little knowledge that I know of editing, and like cut up the whole speech. I found it immediately online. It was streaming. And he has this part where he's like, later on in the night, he's like, you come from a long line of alumni whose energy has blah, 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 blah. And I just stopped there. And I made this whose energy. And I made this build up, and then like, build up, late night at Old Queens. And then I'm like some show tech drop all of a sudden. I mean, the whole building went absolutely insane. To the point where like I had to do it again right afterwards. They were like, do it again. So
That's awesome.
But I mean,
That's so tight.
Yeah, I mean, having the president, regardless of your political views, having the president say the name of your bar, and then that night, everybody was just like minds blown, twice now. So that was by far one of the craziest moments for me, I'd say.
That's cool. Do you have any advice that you would tell young DJ Demand?
Yeah. One thing that I wish I did was learn how to edit, learn how to, do more production type of stuff. I was, I got into DJing because, I always liked music, but I really liked hip hop. And, back in the day, all my friends that played in bands joked around like, you should be a DJ. And so eventually college time comes around. Now I am DJing. I have all of my idols were all like, AM, Spin Battle, like all those guys that are scratching a lot. So I spent all of my time learning how to scratch. And anytime people are like, learn how to produce, learn how to use production software, I was like, not till I get where I want to be with scratching, which of course you always want to get better. So yeah, I just never really, I could cut and paste in Ableton and do some minor stuff. And that's pretty much as far as I can get. But like, being friends with you guys and Scooter and everybody else, I'm like, man, I wish I just had a little bit more knowledge. My mom was a music teacher. I, learned basic stuff as basic instruments growing up, but never stuck with piano. If I learned piano, I'd be able to play any instrument now. And like, I really just wish I focused a little bit more on that end of things.
I say that all the time. I wish I forced my daughter to learn piano, and she hates it more than everything. But I forced her to where I think she could at least pick it up if she really had to. But that being said, I'm jealous of you because I can't scratch to save my life, and all my shows revolve around editing. So it's just interesting. It's the grass is always greener, right? You're always like, oh, I wish I could wiki a little bit more.
I heard you guys scratch before. Come on, you could scratch.
No, I can't at all. I'm not a. I could definitely pick it up, but it's just something that I kind of gave up, and I'm afraid to do live. So a lot of all my stuff is really based around editing. I re-edit everything to where I know how I'm going to play it. Fuse, that's kind of how you are? The same thing?
Yeah, I don't do the wikis too much. I got like a wiki, but
You're
I don't got the wacky.
You wiki more than I do. Demand is sick though. I got some videos of you on the Rev 7, ripping that thing apart.
No, it was fun, but yeah, and now the trick is to kind of tone it down to where it's like it works at a wedding. Because I that does set me apart from other wedding DJs, and we talk about this all the time. Janai, Nick, me, all the SE guys about, doing something that's your brand. And for me, yeah, that is, being able to scratch a little bit, not over run around Sue, but like, when I get into the throwback stuff and the, the newer music later on, it is nice to be able to make it feel a little bit more, like clubby, and do things like that. So, but I tone it down. I'm not sitting there doing, beat juggles and boomerangs and stuff like that. We're talking basic stuff, so.
Well, don't stop. I think the wikis are important, but it is toned down. But yes, people notice. People do notice,
Yeah.
like, oh man, that DJ's dope. And you're like, every now and then I'll be like, well, what did he do? And he's like, oh, he's wikiing. So people,
Um, do you have any dumb crate names in Serato?
Yes. A lot.
What's your
A
dumbest
lot.
crate name?
Okay, let me go down here. Let's see here. My clean music is called Clean Shit. That's something, I guess. I have. Oh, this was good for the club stuff here. Let's see here. Moobaton, nobody cares, in parentheses. Trap, don't play, you're drunk. I have here.
Oh my god, so good.
Let me see. I definitely have a bunch. Stupid shit, which is just exactly what it is. Like, lots of time, like a lot of that Twitch stuff where I was like, oh, I could play anything on here, really dirty songs.
Yeah.
I have one called Ayo, check this shit out. That's pretty much if I have like, if I'm just playing with other DJs or whatever, and I'm like, yo, Ayo, check this shit out. And then it's like, almost
It's
like
so
as if I would
classic.
ever play. It's like if I were ever played it, if they're knocking at my door to play a do-over set, it's like, oh yeah, that's what I would probably play. Something
That's like the what's that little drop is like, where'd you find this?
yeah, exactly.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah, damn, son, where'd you find this? That's totally that drop.
Oh yeah. I'm sure I have more that probably I shouldn't be saying. Where
Those
other
are
people
more
hear.
amazing than I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Those are good ones.
I have one that says "Play yourself, damn it," because I make edits and forget that I made them, and then other people are like, "Oh, I played your edit," and I'm like, "I made that." Like somebody was just talking about that on a show recently, I think, where you forgot that you were making it. So yeah, "Play yourself, damn it," is a good one. Sing your nuts off. Let's see here.
The man has the best ones. I don't think we've heard any of that are this good. These are all great. I need to change all of my Serato crate names to something great now.
Sing your nuts off.
Yeah. And I am big on the emojis too. Definitely helps you, like, for the main ones, not for everything, but like especially if I'm like quickly like wedding stuff, or like, I need to go to my bar crate has the beer emoji in it. My wedding crate has the brides and the grooms and all that stuff.
It's great to see it, but it's almost impossible to search, right?
Yeah, I'm just talking about like if I'm just scrolling through I have 300 crates. So if I'm scrolling through my crates, oh yeah, by the way, I have 300 crates.
At what point are you a hoarder with 300 crates? I have the same amount. Actually, I don't delete crates. I still have some from like 2013, but I put them in like an old crate so I could dig through it. Serato, please, if you're listening, we really need a way to search crates. Like, wouldn't it be amazing? Yeah. Sing your nuts off inside of a deep crate. I need that.
I am mostly wedding now, but for many years I was everything from bar to wedding to nightclub to everything. So I was just like, why delete? If you have the hard drive space, why delete it? Try to be organized with them. And it gets to the point where you have so much music where it's like, for me, like when I had the CD books, I was like, I started in 2000. So I never did pure only vinyl. Like it was always like a mix of both. But when I had those CD books, especially like the promo onlys, and they're organized by like color of the album and stuff like that. Like I'm a visual guy, so I'm not sitting here like looking for the words of the songs. I am flipping through quickly, finding the bright pink one that I know was the rhythm radio for that month or whatever it is, And so for me, I don't really type that much. So if it's not in a crate, like it might as well not be on my computer. I'll never think to play it. I'll never find it. I'm way more like everything has to be in a crate. So I'm more searching by scrolling.
Well, does that mean you're a hoarder? Because are you deleting stuff, or you keep everything like music wise? Like in Serato, do you have like 1,000 songs, and then you're just keeping everything, and then you're just only putting them in crates? So how you working that thing? Because
I just typed in Uptown Funk. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, okay. I
Stop.
might be a little bit of a hoarder. So
What? How do you have 13 Uptown Funks?
no, more than that. And then what's stupid is I
More
have
than
one.
that.
Wait, what's funny is I have, okay, this is how stupid I am. I have in parentheses, like, play this one, or I'll have cue points that say start from this one. Like, why not only have that one? Like, what
So
am I doing?
even Steve said that he has a Baltimore remix of Uptown Funk.
Yeah,
And
the Voldemort from
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
you have that. I mean, if you have more than 13, you got to have the Voldemort.
I don't
Harry
think I've
Potter.
heard that one before. No.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, look, I definitely have a lot. And like I said, if you have the space, I mean, if somebody asks for it once, I mean, yes, the multiple ones like that, I should probably get rid of, 2/3 of them, 3/4 of them. Just have the ones that you play, but any random song, stuff like that. I mean, I'm gonna, you never
This
know
is
when
all
you'll need it.
iTunes too, because
Yeah.
I heard you're a big iTunes guy.
I was. I was the guy that back in the day, you click, sync your iTunes library in the settings. And then I remember one day there was an update and like it crashed everything. And like I couldn't even open Serato. I freaked out. So from that point on, I stopped syncing iTunes. But when I download a song, I download it. It goes to my download folder. I double click it. It made a copy of it in iTunes. And then I drag it from iTunes into Serato. So everything that I have in Serato, I have in iTunes, and I joked around about it, but on a previous episode, but yeah, I have every single song on my computer is music, iTunes music, album name, artist name, whatever it is. It's like 5 subfolders, and it is stupid. So, you did show me the way of putting it in Dropbox all in one folder. I bought my brand new computer, and
What'd you get?
The new 16-inch M1.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got it, and it's great. And I started to do it. Jana helped me out. We condensed the files from 80,000 to 60,000, and then I realized this computer is way too powerful to just use for DJing. So now I got my Toad booth like with the TV built into it. So now I use this computer for video, lighting, all that other stuff, office work, everything. And then I just have my old computer that is still music. So I'm like halfway there. The music is now in Dropbox in the one folder. And I tried my best to, like, again, I have so many crates. I'm trying to, dwindle them down. And I did a lot of tagging, and it's like halfway set up, but eventually I want to finish this and then wipe the old computer clean and then do it that way. Like, do it the way that you do it, where everything is in your Dropbox folder. All your computers are synced. It's super easy to use. But then, all of a sudden wedding season comes up and I'm doing 2-3 weddings a weekend. And it's like, well, I guess I'll wait until December to do this. So
Dude, I live that life, and my I keep adding random shit to my crates for this, but I'm kind of thinking I might get that Air, maybe with like a 1 terabyte, and then just force myself, because I'm like, okay, I ran out of space. I only have 1 terabyte, only to put stuff in, and then I still have my main computer at home that has everything, but I can just sync certain stuff. I don't know. It's a never ending process. I don't blame you or fault you for it, but it never ends. You always got to be updating it.
yeah, I mean, there are people that are obsessed with it. They're like, I got my library down to 15 songs, and I'm like, okay,
I never want to be down that low. It's more of, for me, very specifically, is when I have too much, I can't find what I'm looking for. Because I won't play something that I haven't gone through. So I have to go through all of it and then be like, oh, I'm gonna play these. So say I'm gonna do a wedding that is like really pushing me on house. Man, if I have 15 versions of that one house track that I wanted to play, I'm not gonna play any of them. I'm gonna still play the dumb one that I know all the time. So that's where my brain is.
Here's a question for both of you guys. Do you erase your history, like your played history?
Yep.
Always, yeah.
See, I never do. So I just play the songs that are already highlighted. And again, I should take every song that's not highlighted and just delete it. So.
How do you do that? Because it's blue, right? And like to check the song, it turns blue or gray, whatever. To check it, you have to, right?
Well, I just never erase it. So all the ones that I play normally are all blue. And
no, but like once you load it, do you never listen to it? Like if you once you listen to like if you're plugged into Serato, it won't turn it blue, right? But
Oh,
if
you're
you're
saying
not
like the
plugged
first
into
time I
Serato,
loaded in.
yeah, if you're not plugged into Serato and you just load it in, it'll turn green or blue.
I think after a while it maybe goes back. I don't know. That's a good
I
question.
delete my history, and we even kind of talk shit about guys like you who don't delete their history on this last episode with Even Steve. So skip
boy.
that part, maybe.
Look, and it never comes into an issue as far as like, did I play it or not until it's like a Sunday wedding and it's like my fourth one of the week. And I'm like, oh, which one was that? Did I play it? But I mean, that never comes up. I'm not playing songs twice, but yeah, it definitely is a bad habit because then I am just playing the same songs over and over again. As
I don't think that's it. It's just collecting it. You want to like finally grow on it, right? So I guess that's where I am at with it. But
usually like at the end of the
Top
season, I'll erase it or something and then start over again. But I feel lost, man. One time my friend did it like thinking I do it every time. He was just like, "Oh, I cleared your history for you." And I'm like, "What? Like, what am I supposed to play now?"
Why'd you do that? I can't even imagine.
All right, cut all this if you talked about it in the last one.
No. External. This is like a 4 terabyte right here.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
What's crazy is I think there was another celebrity caller that wanted to call the show. He said he's been listening to the show and that he was a big fan. So we're gonna play his message. Here we go.
Hello, this is Bond. James Bond. Joanne Fuse, I think it's about time we talk about music. Personally, I like to listen to grown and sexy smooth jazz with my favorite girl, Pussy Galore. Now make me a cold martini, shaken, not stirred, and break down your top music.
Who's doing these?
Shout out Sean Connery.
Yeah, he called in. He said
he called in, man.
That's amazing.
Sean Connery's a big fan of the show.
Yeah, big fan.
You know what's funny with
from heaven.
with all of your little segues that you always do. I always listen to my podcasts at like 1.2 speed or whatever faster. So it's so weird to even like your intro song. That was probably other than at the Vegas convention when you played it on stage. That's probably the only time I ever heard it in 1 speed and not super fast.
Not chipmunk style.
Yeah.
But now you got Sean Connery. So now you've heard Sean Connery, and I mean,
great. I hope I have a new one for every single one.
Shout out to Sean calling from heaven, dude. Angels.
So yeah, we want to discuss those top played Serato songs. Since you never clear your history, and you're gonna know what they are.
Well, look, since we know where this is going already. Being a wedding DJ, it's going to be pretty predictable. But number one is Serato Scratch Sentence.
Okay,
because I think anytime I get set up, I'm just like, let me practice a little bit, so that's always.
Is there a specific one? Is it like DJ Scene? I think there's a Whitematic one. Like
Scenes is good. This one is. Oh, it's been relabeled so many times. It just says sound effects Serato Scratch Sentence. All the regular fresh, yeah, that type of stuff. Scenes is good too. I like that one too. Next up, I have. These are all. Let me put on my. What do we call it here? Plays. There we go. Okay. Next up, by far, is "Crazy in Love," Beyonce, Jay-Z.
Okay.
And that's
DMS. A go-to for me. That's always
I play that a lot.
When in doubt.
Yeah.
That's a when in doubt for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that one, This Is How We Do It is up there. Danza Kuduro and I Love It are also up there. And then the one that's not up there is the Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody, just because I think I have a couple different versions that I play. And just recently I made like a shorter one for myself. So personal edit. So I guess like that would probably be right up there too. But I mean, organizing by plays, it's going to be pretty predictable, especially since
3 times up there, pretty high.
It's up there. I got to scroll down a little bit probably, but I like playing that one for 30 seconds or so.
Yeah,
At
that's
this
about
point,
all
I'm playing it just to mess with you guys, I think.
Uh,
And then I got
that's
some
good
real
as
board.
the most, I think.
I got like some real like kind of instrumental ones too. That like again, every wedding I do toasts. So like the Lenny Kravitz, that Storm.
Actually, rewind just a hot second. I think
Yeah.
this is something great for wedding DJs. I try and do it myself. I actually saw it first from Brian B, where it's like do like a walk up for the toast. So maybe explain that a little bit more.
Yeah, I hate dead air. So we try to never have that. So the way that it works, the way that I do weddings, it's a little bit different than you talk DJ, MC, or some people do a one-man team. With me, it's me and my assistant. So he is not just a roadie; he knows how to DJ as well. Shout out Vincent. He's been one of my friends since we were like kids. He's a drummer, and I got him into this world, and he's amazing. And what I do is like for the formality part of the wedding, I put everything in a folder in order for him. So, play this song as I start talking. This song is the intros for the parents. This song, bride and groom, first dance, parent dances. After that stuff is done, I have like 5 songs that just, first of all, I use like a random section that I never use, like composer, and I write notes for him in every single track. So he doesn't have to look at the paperwork. It's right there. It says play when I'm talking, parent dance song, end at a minute and a half or whatever. When we get to the toasts, I have a bunch of instrumentals. So I have it right here for this.
That's
weekend.
invaluable. That's a great little tip.
Absolutely.
Composer thrown in there.
Yeah,
That's
take a
great
section
tip.
you never use and just use that to write notes for yourself or for your assistant, whatever. I mean, intros this weekend for Friday. I mean, every couple is walking out to a different song. So I have the names of the couple there. He doesn't need to know the names, but at least he'll hear it in the microphone and be like, all right, I know I'm playing the right one right now. First dance, fade out at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Groom with mom, start at 35 seconds because it's a long
And
one.
so, are you out like emceeing at this point, or are you
Yes,
just
yes.
or are
So-
these notes for yourself as well?
Yeah.
Like how does that
Well, the
work?
way that we do it is, so for the first half an hour, of the night, when people are coming in from cocktail hour, my assistant is my DJ. So he's playing music as people are walking into the room. I'm lining people up. I'm the MC. I want to be wherever the action is. So that's how we do it at SCE. So I'm the MC for that moment. Once all the formalities are done, now I'm the DJ for the rest of the night, and he'll run lights. He'll help me out. But yeah, so he's DJing, and he's not a DJ. Like he's not a 20-year DJ. He's, he doesn't know, he can beat match a little bit, but like he's still learning. So this just kind of makes it like dummy proof for him so that anybody can do it, as long as you know how to load the song that's the other thing. Every cue point, I just use this cue point 8, like the last cue point, because it's separate from everything else. So like, when they're coming into Crazy in Love, they're coming into, it goes right to the chorus of the song. The last cue point is the one that he only has to think about one thing. I make it as simple as possible for him.
So that helps having multiple versions of the songs, because then you can
Yes.
have that cue point that does that. Because if you're going to play it live, you're going to want the actual version of it. You're not going to want
exactly. For intros, I generally go to I've always had promo only. I generally go to a promo only version because that's not probably the one that I'm going to play when I'm playing it during a dance set later on. So
Right.
So that way that one, the only cue point on there is going to be cue point 8, and that's I kind of keep that song just for that one. So take that, people that delete all of your songs. But yes, after the after the parent dances, we generally do the toasts. And for that, I like to have background music as I'm calling people up. Sometimes the person is all the way on the other side of the room and didn't even hear you the first time you made the announcement.
I love that.
So
yeah.
My go-tos are like Lenny Kravitz and the Jay-Z, the Storm that just plays like I don't want to play anything because it'll get flagged.
I have no idea.
Okay, look it up. It's a great, just chill instrumental. Grammatic has some good stuff. I just found this group called Grammatic. I just found this group called Bass Tracks that is like, how you have like Vitamin String Quartet. They play like, string versions of popular songs. Well, they do like horns. So it was like Mariah Carey's Always Be My Baby, but like horns.
Ooh.
So I'm like,
who is that again? What's the name of it?
Bass Tracks.
Bass Tracks.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Brass Tracks. Brass Tracks.
I play that one, Always Be My Baby. That one has actually come up on a bunch of my weddings a lot. Lately,
I had a couple that just requested it a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, this is perfect. I'm going to use this all the time now. But yeah, I
Is
like
it just that song that you got, or do they have a deeper catalog?
I downloaded a bunch, but that seemed like the best one for me just to add into the rotation. But I'm sure that they have more. I mean, I think they have some original stuff too, but I like to keep it familiar. But yeah, so and then I found a good Tribe Called Quest or Electric Relaxation, but it was like AVE,
nice.
like Av music instrumental cover. Like I just found like a cool cover of it. So yeah, stuff like that is great. I play it. I introduce. Let's have a round of applause for the best man making his way up here, and then we just play some music as he's walking up there.
I got a couple to add to you for you. Dylan Francis, Touch. It's a good one.
Okay.
Harry Styles, Adore You, and then Rock Boys, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Just Blaze, Rock Boys. It has those horns.
What was the one before Rock Boys? You said Adore You, right?
Adore You, Harry Styles. But I do like that Dylan Francis Touch. That's something that I like to add on there. That it's cool. It's just it's a good one. But
it's
also I like the Adore You, so it's good.
Yeah, it's a great just look, sometimes like the maid of honor goes and then the best man goes right afterwards. I always have two microphones, so I don't have to like run back there and introduce the next person. But they're hugging. It takes a couple of seconds. They take a picture and then go to the next one. I don't necessarily have to be there narrating the whole thing. So it's great to have some background music as everybody's cheersing, ask for a round of applause, and then introduce the next person talking. So I mean, definitely whether it's you have a folder of burner tracks, whatever you want to call it. Or
you could probably reduce some of them because instrumentals could go. They're. I don't know if you replayed it during the dancing, they're not gonna like.
Yeah. Oh, we do that all the. Yeah. If we have a bunch of toasts, like I'll just play it from a different point or whatever. That's fine. It's basically just that there's no dead air, and sometimes it's 5 to 10 seconds, sometimes it's 30 seconds or a minute if it's taken a while. But it's good to have those, and it's also just good to have like. Right afterwards, also in this folder that I make every single wedding that I do, I have a couple of just background songs, just nice songs to play. Because after toasts, timing's always different. And in Jersey, I know it's different all over, but in Jersey, we like to have dance sets in between the courses. Like we don't just do all the dancing at the end. So sometimes a toast goes long, or I don't know. If we're until the last toast is happening, if we're going to go into, are they going to serve salad or are we going to get them up and dance? So I always have a couple of background songs in there. And then I also have, I'm talking like a new one, an old one, like Cheek to Cheek, Ella Fitzgerald, Rhythm of Love, Plain White Tees, just like stuff I could just play for. And if I cut the song short, it doesn't even matter. And then I also have like, a couple of slow songs just to, if we're going to start off with the dance set, we want to play a slow song. So like, I basically have it so that again, my assistant who's not a DJ, who can't think on the fly, and I don't expect him to pick a song out of nowhere, out of thin air. He's got choices now. He can look there. And I actually use the color coding system on the left side, like the tabs.
I'm fascinated by this. What are you using? What means what? And
nothing major, nothing too major. Just like I just have it where like, and again, it doesn't mean anything, but like the blue ones are the instrumentals, the green ones are the background songs like that actually have words in it, and then I have like red ones that are like if we're gonna start dancing, like that's what you would go to. I don't have who was talking about the feelings and like associating feelings with colors. You just had them on.
Was that Aiden Scott?
It was one of the past ones you just had, and I was like blown away. I'm like, this song is blue to me, and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Oh, that was Mike D. That was Mike.
Yeah, Mike D. I love his.
Yeah.
It's just great to listen to because I didn't know anything about him. But I was like, that was like, I don't follow this at all. But that's. Great.
I have another friend that does that. That says the same stuff. So
yeah. No, I don't do it to every song. It's really just for that folder. Again, just to make it easier and to make it as dummy proof as possible, because I know when I have to DJ intros, if I'm working with one of the other guys in the company and I'm helping them out, it's the most stressful part of the night for a 20-year DJ that's been doing this. It's always the most stressful thing. You just want to go right. So I can't imagine what it's like for this guy that just touched his first set of DJ equipment a couple years ago with me. Like,
and it's your laptop. It's not even his. Like,
right. Exactly. Yeah.
I freak out doing it myself.
Oh, not even like when I'm at a bar or club and my buddy's like, I'm going to the bathroom, like play a couple. And I'm like, I forgot how to DJ. Like, I don't know. I need my computer. Like I don't even know what's happening
second,
right now.
always the second. It's like, oh, what the fuck's happening right now?
Jan and I'll do that. I'll be working with him and he'll be like, yo, just play a couple. And I'm like, I would have brought my laptop if you told me that.
Yeah, you instantly draw blank. You're like,
Again, I'm
no
visual. I'm
idea.
visual. I need to see my playlist. I need to see, everything in front of me. I can't just, it's really tough for me just to type it out of the blue. But I mean, that's just the way that I've always done it.
So we were talking about music. We're doing Serato, but Sean Connery was very specific about just music. He didn't just say Spotify. So you guys over there in Jersey do this just the weirdest fucking, it's like you start out with the dancing, which I do in LA, right? But it starts out with dancing. It's usually 90% of the time, if we start out with a dance floor right after the grand entrance, it's a Jewish wedding. It's like
right.
that.
Horror right
We
into
go
the,
right into the horror, right into the thing. So I understand the flow of it. I actually love it. I think everyone should do that. But I just maybe you can explain it. I do you. Is it ever change, or is it just because the venues are really pushing that on you? How does that come about?
Some venues don't. I mean, generally, like closer to New York City and Philly, I feel like that's the way that they do it. Like, and then when you get out to like the middle of nowhere, it's more of like we do all the formalities, then all the food, and then they're yours at the end. But a lot of the venues that we work with like to do it the same way as us, which is at some point before the main course, we have dancing. Usually it's like we do the formalities, then maybe we serve salad, play a song or two, and then let's get them up. Even if it's 20 minutes, it sets the tone for the whole evening of we're here to have a fun time.
Does the coordinator set this timeline? Does the venue set this timeline? Do you guys like push it
So-
on the interview? I'm just curious.
I know a lot of times the venues will do that, and that's the way that we do it too. So it's great. When I meet with my couples, like during the meeting, finals meetings and the in between meetings, I tell them this and I say, like, I think it's a great idea. Even if your venue doesn't do it, it might be worth suggesting it to them. Don't say your DJ said to do this. They don't want to hear that. But if it comes from you, it'll happen. But like that first dance set, I play basic. Like that's where all of those songs, like I play very basic. I want everybody young or old, either side of the family to be able
What's
to.
something that's involved in that first dance set? This is like oldies? Are you doing like
I want to do it. I want to do it all. I mean, a common one for me would be like a I Want You Back, or the Frankie Valli, Oh What a Night, or Respect. Like if I'm doing oldies like that, if I'm doing newer stuff, like, it's going to be like the Calvin Harris and Rihanna, like We Found Love, or, again, like the Dons that could be in there, or some Pitbull or something like that. I want to keep it friendly. I want everybody to know every word to every song.
What would be in pretty much a dance set if you weren't doing that thing, right? It would be something you would open up it'd be something big to open up any dance set. Basically.
Yeah. I mean, and we do the tricks, play a slow song first and everybody gets up there, and then I can look out and see, is it more of an older crowd, more of a younger crowd? But that first dance set, I want to make sure I hit every genre. If they're, if they're half Latin, I want to play some sort of Latin music. And I want to make sure that every single person hears something that they like, so that they can go back to their tables going, we're going to have a fun time tonight. Like that's my goal. And what it also does is now that dance set at the end is no longer 2.5 hours. We now killed a half an hour of dancing. Even with a dancing crowd, it's hard to keep people dancing for 2 hours at a wedding. They're going to want, if it's a nice day, they're going to go smoke a cigar outside, or they're going to want to go to the bar and take some shots, or go to the photo booth. So this is kind of like a way of just kind of naturally saying, all right, get up and dance for a little bit. Now we'll sit back down. I don't want to do like a 3-song dance set. I hate when they're like dancing for 10 minutes. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Just serve the food. But like, if we can get 20 minutes in, I think it's just a great start to the night. Then we sit them down for dinner. And and
dinner, what's the vibe? Or you're quick mixing, you're because I've tried mixing, I'm always rearranging the set, and I wouldn't say letting everything play all the whole time, but
right.
Honestly, every time I mix live, maybe it's in my head, but I feel like that the old people come up and go, "Can you turn it down?"
Yeah.
Because the second I've just like let something play and I'm not like actually mixing, I don't get anybody like complain. But the second I start mixing, it's like, oh, it's so loud, we're trying to talk, and then it just kills my vibe.
Yeah, this is where I think, especially in SCE, like a lot of us kind of different. It's good to do your own thing, and not everybody. Like when I work with Jeff Scott Gould, he is mixing a song a minute during dinner. He's playing mashups and remixes and everything, and they're into it. It works for him. For me, I do kind of let the music breathe a little bit more during dinner. I talk to the couples about it. I tell them, look, dinner is very important. Your wedding is 4 hours long. There should be no filler. Like every song should have a purpose. So
Yeah.
If they have songs that they like but aren't necessarily danceable, I'll play it then. I tell them, I'm like, look, I will lower the music and play some Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra stuff and let people enjoy their meals. But I don't want them to fall asleep and forget that there's a DJ there either. So I do that maybe as the meal's being served for the first like 10 minutes or so, and play 4 or 5 songs or so. Then after that, I do try to make the songs a little bit more familiar, get people singing along, movie soundtrack stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy, like totally awesome mix, like anything from there. Like I've heard you guys talk about it too, like the Come and Get Your Love or My Girl, things like that.
All day.
The Wilson Phillips from the Bridesmaids, movie, like stuff that'll get people singing along. But they could dance if they want to. The Valerie, they could dance if they want to, but they don't have to. My ideal dinner is like at the end of dinner, I don't have to announce it. I just say, hey, if you guys can tell from the rest of us, dance floor's open, come join us, and that's it. That's my goal. And I tell my couples, like a wedding it's not like a nightclub where it's 4 hours of bangers. Like there's a flow to it, and it shouldn't be these sudden starts and stops. I want to bring it down during dinner and then slowly build it up to make it naturally, so that when I announce that dance floor is ready to go, people are ready to jump up out of their seats. That's my
that prep call's invaluable. I mean, DJs, if you're listening, that prep call, you have to be on that prep call and just explaining to them, like, we can't tell everybody stand up. Go sit down.
Yeah.
Go do it over here. Yeah. It's not the fucking hokey pokey where you put one arm in and put the left arm out. The whole thing is part of the flow. It's all moving around. So no, I totally agree with you. I'm just explaining it to the other kids that are out there, but I agree with what you're saying.
And I think a wedding too, a dinner also is a good time for couples to express their own personality. Like, yes, they want me to play shout because they know people are going to dance to shout. But like during dinner, I have this one couple this weekend that wants to hear like Disney instrumentals because she's so obsessed with Disney. And I'm like, great. So now we could play some of this. I could play some of this. When I did Scooter's wedding, he gave me the playlist, and it was all like the Boy Sav, like chill, like guitar, like guitar.
Yeah, good.
And I still have my Scooter wedding. I have in my dinner. Okay, my dinner music folder has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 12 or 13 subfolders in dinner music, and one of them says
prep right there,
and one of them says Scooter dinner, and everybody's like, oh, is that like all Scooter remixes? No, that was Scooter's wedding mix, like the dinner wedding mix, like that was at his wedding because it's what he wanted, and it was it's got all the Boy Sav stuff pretty much, like that type of just chill, live at so and so, like acoustic stuff, and I love it, and I play it all the time.
No, I love a lot of that stuff. I was gonna tell you something. I forgot.
Sorry. Dinner mixes, dinner playlists. No, what were we talking about?
I don't remember. But no, I love all that dinner playlist stuff, and just keeping it going. It's great.
Oh yeah, the Disney stuff. Yeah, I just think it's a good way.
Oh, Disney. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
the Disney. I every now and then. Well, I live next to Disneyland, so every now and then we do Disney events, and oh my god, bro, Disney, Mickey and Minnie will come out to cut the cake, and you're not allowed to play any music that isn't Disney music because they don't want some random video with Kia, my neck, my back playing while Mickey's in the room cutting the cake. So it can only be Disney music. So every time we do those things, it's like comes in. It's like I just have the shitty fucking playlist of just like Disney instrumentals, and it puts it's terrible. So
that's funny. Everything's gotta be wholesome.
What's your go-to
for Disney?
Yeah, what's your go-to Disney jam?
It's probably gonna have to go Little Mermaid on them, just because all the girls will sing it, dude. It doesn't matter what Little Mermaid song, every girl knows Little Mermaid. Period. End of story. Every girl.
I thought maybe you would hit him with the Aladdin. I can show you the world.
Dude, I have been getting, and this is how I know I'm getting old, but I have been getting people requesting a lot more Disney songs. What's that? Elton John? Is it the Lion King Elton John? Or
Mhm.
um anyways, those fucking, I don't know, some of them just kill me. But you're at that age when that's what they grew up on, and that's meaningful to them now. It's not just something that they're forced to hear. New world. It's a whole new world. All right, Fuse, what we got?
All right. Well, do you want to talk about what's in your bag? You got any tips and tricks of stuff that's in the bag?
Yeah, let me. I
We
don't know.
we
All right,
actually
while
got
you get
a
your-
Do you
guest
have a
caller.
thing? Yeah. Sorry.
We have a guest caller.
Who do we have talking to this?
We have a celebrity guest caller for what's in your bag.
Here we go.
Got a brand new bag. Papa's got a brand new bag.
I feel good. Jam.
I think that's just short enough where it won't get flagged. I think you're good with that one.
We hope. We hope. That's the
We're
hope.
hoping. Fingers crossed.
I don't have much in here. Just condoms. You never know. I mean, that's really it. That's all I got. There's nothing else in here.
The man crushing the game over here with the condoms. That's a new one.
No, that's all I got.
For other people,
My wife's not
You
going to
pass-
watch this.
do you pass them out?
No, okay. My bag looks like the Ghostbusters backpack. It's got so much stuff in there. I have my DJ computer. I have my DJ computer. I've got my lighting and video computer, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
I
What's
have
the
an
DJ
entire.
computer? Because you
What's
told
that?
us how you maxed out. You told us how you maxed out this other computer. What's the DJ computer?
I have a 2016 and just I don't know the specs. It's nothing crazy. It's just like a 2016 MacBook Pro. It's got everything has a terabyte on it. That's pretty. I don't do videos, so that can cover everything pretty much.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, totally.
But yeah, and I pretty much use that for DJing and my Ableton, and then everything else goes on the other computer. So I've got both of those computers. I've got one pocket that has every single Apple connector you can ever imagine, from all the past 10, 15 years of Apple computers, just in case somebody comes up with an old one. And, I have every converter possible. I keep a microphone. I keep a wired microphone in there. I keep, I'm trying to think of what else I have. Extra set of just old Apple headphones, just in case, the regular ones break and everything. I have a second backpack that I bring that has just a bunch of extra stuff in here.
Dude, I play everything so loud that I can't even do with those Apple headphones because I feel like they're just distorting the whole time.
Oh yeah, no, I've never actually had to use it, thank God. But if I did, it probably wouldn't do anything. My second bag just has some extra stuff and an extra roll of tape. I also have been carrying around my earplugs forever, just in case somebody needs it. I keep some ties, just like random stuff in here. Socks, I once went to a wedding and it was pouring rain and my shoes I have shoes that I get dressed, that I set up in, but like my socks got completely soaked. And I was like, I'm keeping extra socks in there. You never know. And then all the Advil, Imodium, anything you could think of just in case. I've got extra pins, extra for the trusses, extra batteries. I mean, it's silly. I walk in with like 3 backpacks, but I mean, again, I'm only doing weddings. When I go to if I do a club or bar or something, obviously I'll throw in the phase and the records and the CDs just in case. But these days it's pretty much, even if I'm doing something like that, I'm usually bringing my own gear anyway.
I agree.
Yeah. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just the basics.
Those are all good things and good advice. One of the other things we wanted to ask you is you were mentioning that you lost vision in your one eye. Do you want to kind of tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. It was a crazy thing that happened. maybe it was, I think it was right about 2 years ago, like at the end of 2020, a little bit, towards the end. But out of nowhere one day, I woke up and my right eye was like, it looked like my glasses were smudged. Like everything was blurry out of it. And I was like freaking out. And I'm like, did I sleep on it wrong? Did something happen? I didn't know. Ended up going to an eye doctor. He's like, you got to come back tomorrow when the retina specialist is in, because we really don't know what's going on. I go back the next day. And by the time that I woke up the next day, the middle of my eye was completely like a gray cloud you couldn't see through. I mean, the peripheral was fine, but like picture just, holding your fist right here in front of your eye and closing your other eye.
I'd be scared out of my mind. Are you kidding me? Like, the thought of it is making me just like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything different. I don't know what's going on. I go back and he's like, well, basically what happened was the veins in my eye filled up with blood. And I couldn't see around them. There was so much blood in there. So he's like, well, what we normally do for that is the same thing that we do for like macular degeneration, which is we give you a shot directly in your eye once a month. And we could start today if you want. And I started hyperventilating and freaking out. I'm not good with needles. I'm like, I'm not getting a shot in my eye today. I don't know what is happening. But he's like, all right, it's fine. Like, think about it. Go get a second opinion. And we'll make another appointment for a week from now. So I ended up going to these like.
There's no way that's happening to me unless you're putting me under. You're putting me to sleep.
That's what I told him. I went back and I said, you're gonna have to put me under. Like, there's no way you're gonna get this close to my eye. So I wouldn't
be able to open it. I'd be like, can you do it through the lid or something? Because there's no way.
Well, that's the thing. They have a thing that like it's like almost like a reverse like cigar cutter. Like they put it's like, it looks like a ring and they go like that and then just bam, your eyes open. You have no choice.
It's a Clockwork Orange. The Clockwork Orange.
But that's pretty much how they do it. And I so long story short, it turns out that those veins that were filling up with blood, they bursted. And when that happens, it is permanent damage. It's just like your brain. If you don't get oxygen to your brain, you're brain dead. I didn't get oxygen to parts of my eye, so that part is completely still to this day like permanently lost. So my right eye, I can't see wherever I'm looking straight. I was getting the shots every single month. The first shot freaked me out. I was shaking. I thought they were going to have to put me under, or I was going to have to take something to sedate myself. And you know what? After that first shot, first of all, like I said, they hold it open. Second, I can't see out of this eye anyway. So I'm like, just do it. So they did it. And I'm like, they obviously numb you. I mean, it didn't hurt. It didn't feel like anything. It's just a weird thing to think about. So now I got over my fear of shots. There's no, once you do that,
you got to go once a month.
I went once a month for about a year and then they started spacing it out. I actually just went a couple of weeks ago, and it was the first time I went that they were like, we're not doing this anymore. We're not afraid it's going to get worse or go to the other eye. It's pretty much going to stay the same. We'll just do checkups every once in a while. So finally, no more eye shots. And as far as in general, how it affects me, I mean, your eyes, the first 3 months, my brain was like, what is going on? You can't see. You can't, like my brain, I couldn't process it. Eventually, your brain learns to take the good image, take the bad image, stitch it together. My depth of field is a little off. So like, if I'm going into the toaster oven, like for, to make a bagel or something, like I'm not just gonna stick my hand in anymore. When I'm cutting, I got to be extra careful, but in general, it doesn't affect it too much. Low light is a little bit harder for me. I make the font on my computer and phone a little bit bigger. I do whatever I can to make it easier, but for the most part, it really doesn't affect your day to day. And I mean, it's scary to think like, well, now I only have one left. That's the scary thing. Like, what happens if something happens to the other one? Then I am blind. But right now I can kind of get by as it is. And it's a really good excuse when I suck at my video games to be like, well, you have two eyes, so shut up, Fuse. Stop complaining. All right. I didn't see him. But I mean, no, it really, it's a crazy thing that happened. It's wild. And, it's now it's just you don't even really think about it. So I mean, I'm kind of like back to normal, and all of this happened when we were locked down. It unfolded on Twitch. It unfolded like
I
went to the eye
remember
doctor.
day.
I went to the eye doctor, and it was during DJ Pre's Raid Train. And I
Yep.
got on, and I have an eye patch on my head, and I'm wearing sunglasses. And everybody's like, "What is going on with you?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's nothing. They said it'll be a week or two, and it'll clear up." I didn't know it was permanent at that point. And I'm like, we're making jokes about it, People are putting. I was going to make an eye patch emote and everything, and I'm like, a couple of weeks later, they're like, "Yeah, it's not getting better." And I was like, "Oh my god." But yeah, that whole thing unfolded on there, and it was like my therapy. Just talk, because Twitch is more about talking than it is DJing a lot of the time. So, I mean, that whole thing unfolded like with all of my Twitch friends there, and we're talking about it, and it was.
You always had some amazing just Twitch scenes of all of that. I remember you're not still doing that. You need to switch that demand Twitch over to your video games. I really
the
think you
gamer
do.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
you do.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because
Fuse will tune in. Fuse will tune in.
Yeah. I thought so. I have been streaming once in a while to the DJ Demand one, my video games, and I thought like, well, at least I have like a big following. I got a lot of people that followed me on Twitch, over the pandemic, and then I realized I'm like, nobody that was watching me then is even on it or gets notifications or cares to watch me play video games. So, I make it very clear in the title, like not DJing. So, but again, I'm not trying to get big on that. I'm just having fun with
of course. I mean, but I go on every now and then, and if you were on, I would go on and just fuck around. But
I'll text you next time I'm on. We're like I said, I can't go on when I'm playing with Fuse because his mouth, his language. But
he's an asshole. Let's be honest. He's always he's a potty mouth.
But yeah,
it's not so much that it's a potty mouth. It's what I say.
Now, while all this happened, I'm going to doctors, I'm going to blood doctors and neurologists and everything, and we couldn't figure out why it happened. That's the crazy thing. There was nothing that's like, you did this and then this happened. So I think when that happened, it just set something off in me. Like, I out of all the tests, all the doctor said was like, hey, you're a little overweight and you have a little high cholesterol. And they were like, you might want to look into cholesterol medicine or something like that. And I think it was that. And then I was just like, you know what? I had no control over this. Let me take control over whatever I can. I went on a very, very strict diet, which was very easy because we were still all locked in at home. And I cut everything out. I mean, I was like vegan, because I wanted to lower my cholesterol. So no cholesterol, no saturated fat. 6 months later, I get my blood levels checked, and my cholesterol was in check. And I probably lost over 20. I know I lost over 20 pounds. And
you think a lot of that helped?
Yeah. I mean, changing my diet definitely helped 100%. I mean, that's what did it. So I think it was like, let me control what I can out of this. Now, since then, we're back on the road. We're eating these savory meals at the catering halls, or I'm stopping off at a Wawa before or after my gig. And it's like, so I'm eating a little bit worse. I'm pretty much 80% like either plant-based or fish, but like once a week or so, if I have some chicken, the meat is like, I have it so infrequently now. Like I don't even think I can have a full steak anymore. I love it. And I make my wife order steak when we're at a restaurant, just so I can have a piece of it. We went out for my birthday, and she was like, she saw like the Wagyu, steak. And she's like, I can't justify buying something like this. And I'm like, do it. Cause I just want one strip of it.
I had a prime rib at a at a wedding the other day, and oh my god, because I've been eating a lot more healthy, and I was so full. I'm like, I can't do steak at weddings anymore because it just puts me right to bed.
I always ask for the vegan vegetarian meal just because it's 3 weddings a weekend. I can't eat three wedding steaks a weekend, but I'm nervous because my brother lives in South Carolina, and when you go down there, you go to the barbecue, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I can't pass that up.
You got to have a different barbecue option.
Yeah, these all-you-can-eat barbecue. Oh, my God.
Here we go. One of the things that we wanted to ask you about was how you got your start with SCE. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I was a DJ for 15 years or so before I joined up with SCE.
Wait, real quick. You said 19 years in the bio. I mean, how old is Demand at this point? Was like, because I'm not even 19 years old, and I know I was able to have DJed that long.
Yeah, I just turned 41, I went like I said, I went to Rutgers University. I got my start there doing frat parties and bars and things like that.
New Jersey,
And
born and raised, or
yeah,
what?
I grew up in 10 minutes away from Rutgers, and now I live 10 minutes in the other direction away from Rutgers. I've always been
Okay.
right in Central Jersey. The bar that I worked at was the one that I always tried to get into when I was a student there, and they never even like looked at me. It wasn't until that they were looking for a DJ that they found me. And of course, by then I was like in my super senior last semester there, and I'm like, well, great, now that I'm done with here, I'm starting. And I'm like, whatever, while I'm starting whatever I'm doing next, I'll DJ here. And then next thing I know, it's 19 years later, I was the Tuesday and Thursday night DJ at this bar called Old Queen's Tavern. It's the big fraternity sorority sports team, like spot. Nothing crazy, dive bar, 250 people packed like sardines into this place. And I only did the weekdays because I was always working, in the beginning, bar mitzvahs and sweet 16s and some weddings on the weekends. So for me, I was the Tuesday, Thursday guy. And we kind of built it up where Tuesday was the night to go out,
So Tuesday and Thursday, you basically, I'm sorry, Tuesday and Thursday, you were doing every single Tuesday, Thursday for those whole 19 years.
Up until COVID, I was, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Very dope.
After that, I toned it down to one night a week, and then I just realized I was just so busy with making up a year and a half's worth of weddings. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And actually, I retired the same day that Brady retired, and my boss was like, I saw it come in. I'm like, it was like February 1st, I think, whatever it was. And my boss was like, I saw it coming. Once I saw he retired, I figured that this conversation was coming soon. But yeah, I just, I was there for so long. Like I said, I helped build it up. We did so many fun promotions, and I ran their social media, and, I got into photography and was taking pictures of people, posting that on Instagram, and that was helping build it up and everything. And
all the 3 times clips that you would send us, you were shooting all those.
Oh, that one that I did, it was like winter. It was like during break, and there was nobody there. And I sent you the picture of the empty bar. Yeah, I and for me, like I've done clubs. I used to do the Atlantic City thing in my early 20s, but for the most part, the gigs that I was doing was like not these like you have an opener, you show up, you DJ for 2 hours, and then there's a closer. Like it was like I start, I finish, I build up the whole night my way. And that's why it was always like difficult for me to go into like the pool at Harrah's in Atlantic City and like there was 2 DJs on before me, and I'm like, well, what did you guys play? Like, it to me, like it takes a while to get in my zone. So like I was just, this bar was great because I get there, it's empty, and it builds up all very quickly. They all come out at the same time. They want to beat the line, and then you have like 3 hours of straight party.
I love nights like that. I actually prefer doing the whole night and not having an opener. I know I'm a weirdo like that, but I just feel like I don't know. Fuse, I'm sure Fuse, you do all. You don't have it every now and then. Fuse, do you bring an opener in or no?
Every now and then, but I'm like you. I prefer to just do the whole night.
I feel like the opener ruins it every time. I can't. It's like I don't know.
But yeah, I the same thing here. Like sometimes, like people would ask me to get in there, especially towards the end. I was like, yeah, go for it. Play. And because I'm kind of thinking like if they're good, I'll just try to get them a job there. But yeah, I mean, this bar was like, it wasn't a crazy nightclub. It wasn't something where I could be like, hey, I got some friends, pay for their hotel room. And, like it wasn't like that at all. They're hiring college kids for like $150 a night. And they paid me more because obviously I have a good relationship with them. I was actually on their insurance plan the whole time. So I didn't, that's how I got my health insurance, was through this bar. Don't ask how it worked out, but it did. Yeah, I mean, for me, that was obviously a big part, but the biggest part was as I was making this transition, especially to weddings, like I never wanted to just be that stereotypical cheesy wedding DJ, and being forced to play for a bunch of 21-year-olds drunk in a bar twice a week. Like you have to be fresh. You have to, keep up with your music and do all of that. So I did it for me, it was like just my way of staying, in.
And we had Cleveland Terry on recently, and one of his things was, quick mixing. I know I've heard you DJ. Is to explain to some of the older DJs that think they shouldn't be mixing, how quick a 21-year-old is going to turn on you if you're not changing the song.
How long is it TikTok? How long is a TikTok? At this point, You have to. I mean, yeah, you go straight to the good verse, the good chorus, and you're out. I mean, you know, I was never one on mixing too fast. I have friends that mix under a minute a song. I mean, I generally am like at a bar or a club, you know, maybe, you know, again, straight to the chorus, first verse, chorus, and you're out. You know, some songs I let play a little bit longer, but you know, yeah, quick mixing is like a minute and a half or so. You know, at weddings, I do let it breathe a little bit more. You got all different people there; they're not used to going to clubs. You know,
So I used to worry about that or think about that when I would play a wedding, and that, okay, I better let her play a little bit longer. But every time I did, I would lose the floor. So now I've just thrown that all out the window, and I'm like, just go with my own brain. And a lot of these like certain songs I've just made edits to where, oh, no choice. We're this is how we're
Yeah.
mixing it, because I don't ever want to have that. Let me let it breathe a little bit longer. Fuck it. This is what you get, and this is where I'm playing.
I have a friend who every single song let play till the last beat, and I told him he belonged to DMS, and I'm like, search for short edit and only play that one. It forces you to mix faster, you know. And I mean, I like having the option, because sometimes, especially at a wedding, I'm like, oh, I didn't think that song would work, but everybody's singing along. Don't mess with it if it's working. You know, I get it. You don't want to play it too long.
If the next song peaks even higher, then you could kind of elevate the crowd.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I see what you're saying, but I disagree a little bit. I mean, Fuse is just starting to do a lot more weddings than he was in the past. And Fuse, wouldn't you say, like, you second guess yourself a little bit, but have you seen that where if you
I think a lot of times I tend to overthink it at a wedding, where it's like I'm dumbing it down too much to where it's like, you know, I didn't need to dumb it down even as much as I did, and I could have just rolled with how I normally would have played, and it probably would have been fine. But, you know, I think it's always different situations, different depending. I like playing my personal edits, but at the same time, there's certain songs that I like playing like just the regular intro edit too, because I might, like you said, let it play a little longer than I normally would. It just kind of depends on the situation.
So don't delete all your songs. Have multiple versions, is what you're saying. I have had that happen where I had the short one going, and then the bride comes running in, and I'm like, "Fuck!" And so I search the full version, and then I mix into the full version so that I am. So you got to have options. I'm not saying there is one way. I'm just shaking it up.
So tell us how you got to the SCE part.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So the bar thing, yeah, I did that forever, and that was that. I mean, but the whole time, ever since I graduated from college, I was DJing parties. Now I'm Jewish. I'm from a Jewish area. When I first started off, I worked at a Jewish sleepaway camp, which it wasn't religious. It's just all rich Jewish kids go there. So I ended up doing nothing but bar mitzvahs for the first like 10 years of my career. So that's why the Cleveland Terry show I really liked a lot, because I feel for him a lot. But yeah, I spent the first 10 years or so just doing only bar mitzvahs. And
with the Jersey weddings that you do, I've never seen like a Jewish a New Jersey bar mitzvah, but I can only imagine it's got to be on the same scale as the weddings, because your guys' weddings is incredible.
So Cleveland Terry, I was laughing because he was talking about one thing about how they all want to outdo each other, right? So sometimes it's more for the parents and the kids. I remember I once met with actually I worked at this camp, and it was one of the people that worked at the camp. It was her kid's bar mitzvah. So she's like, hey, instead of just coming over and talking to me about it, I'm going to bring all of my friends, like 5 Jewish moms from the town. And why don't you just talk to everybody? So I sat down and talked to all of them. Which is great.
Jersey Housewives? Was it just the TV show?
Yeah,
Jersey Housewives.
This is what it was. So it was awesome, because she just set me up for like booking every single one of these parties, but we're also just like kind of having some drinks, like we're talking. I'm friends with her too, because we worked at the sleepaway camp, and at some point during the night, every single one of these mothers pulled me aside for a minute and was like, hey, listen, like, we love you and everything, but like, you have to do something different for us. Like, you got to do something bigger for us. So like, what can you do? I'm like, I'll bring the TV screens to you. And then the other one was like, but we got to do something different. I'm like, we got these, cocktail hour games. We'll bring the arcade games and stuff like that. Everyone was like, pulled me over. Was like, I need to outdo everybody else that I'm friends with in this room right now.
I love it. It is the housewife show, right? They're just
Yeah.
like conniving against each other. It's
And
so
it was
amazing.
crazy. I mean, the DJing in the bar mitzvahs, and I don't want to downplay it because it's going to sound weird, but it's such a small part because, yeah, you have to play the right music and it has to be upbeat, but you have an MC talking over every second. You've got 4 or 5 dancers out there, party motivators, we call them, young, good looking guys and girls that are just that the 13-year-olds just want to be around.
So did you work for a different company or were you
Oh, yeah.
actually, like,
I was always
booking some of these?
I was always a freelance DJ. I always worked for a
Okay.
bunch of different
Yeah.
companies. So,
No.
because I never wanted to talk on the mic. I was always
No,
just
I don't mean that. It's just that if you were
Yeah.
hiring the dancers, because
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that. But yeah.
No, yeah. I was just the DJ part of it. So I just, it was an easy gig. I just kind of showed up. I brought the equipment and stuff, but I didn't have to deal with the clients for the most part, unless I knew them personally. But yeah, you got the dancers, you got the MC, cocktail hour, but in different companies were different. Like some of these companies that were by me were all about just this crazy high energy. Everything is, and the MC and the everything is like TV screens and video walls and everything. I had another company I worked for that did all the extras. So they're like, you want a magician or mentalist show at your bar mitzvah, they'll do that. The cocktail hour, we would bring in air hockey, dome hockey, the pop shot basketball, the arcade games, virtual reality. We could do horse racing.
Wait. I did one, and they had the fucking go-karts, and they were doing go-karts. And I think I'm going, what is happening right now?
It's literally a circus. We have circus tents with circus games that we bring. We have a 9-hole mini golf course that we used to bring out. I mean, for events.
God.
And it's just it just these families have nothing better to do with their money than just show off. I mean, and again, the DJing, it's like play the same thing over and over again. I mean, we talk about we didn't talk about it, but one of your rapid fire questions is your guilty or no, the song you can't stand that you just don't want to play.
Yeah,
So
we
for
didn't
me,
put that on there. We changed it. Yeah.
so, but I'll give it to you because it's Timber. And Timber, I had to play every single party because it's just that upbeat. Everybody likes it. And I had to play it so much that when I started doing weddings on my own, I was like, I'm never going to play the song again. And of course, now it's making a comeback and the cycle of everything. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
but
that song is bigger than 3 times. I said it.
Yeah.
Shout out Digital Dave because he hates one, he loves the other.
but
Shout out to Jay Spring too, because Kesha's his favorite artist.
but
shout out Jay Spring.
But it didn't really matter what I played. I mean, I'm mixing on beat, and I'm playing all high energy edits, and that's really all that mattered at the bar mitzvah.
But I'm curious because the last bar mitzvah I did was probably 2015, maybe. Yeah. And it was only hip hop. It was only Drake. It was like Drake. And yeah, that was all they wanted. Future and Drake and Kanye. Yeah. And so I'm asking because Jersey is known for more of its up tempo. So that's just what they want. They want more up tempo. They're not so into the hip hop.
I think it's that, and also the DJs are kind of forcing it on them. I mean, the one company I worked for did a great job did an excellent job at bar mitzvahs, but they kind of played the same playlist every time. They wanted a feel, and they feel like, well, if you're booking us, it's because you saw us do this one, so we're going to do the same thing. And so it was all upbeat. Even the hip hop was remixes and stuff like that. And then anytime I would play, and again, there's an MC talking over it all. Anytime I would play like actual hip hop, like towards again 2015 to 2017 or so, I'd say I started playing more hip hop. The MCs didn't know what to do because they couldn't do the clap, clap, walk to the left, walk to the right. And it's like all of a sudden now it's like, no, the kids are just singing the words. They just want to hear the words. So I think I got out at the right time because I got out right before all the TikTok stuff, all the short attention span stuff. And that's kind of when I got out of it. I can't imagine what guys like Living are going through right now with this TikTok stuff.
One day me and Fuse are going to have our own cha-cha slide song, right? Fuse, we're just going to put it out. It's going to be the move.
Yeah, we're going to actually make the next popular line dance. It's actually our goal.
So. Yeah, it's our goal.
And people will love you, and then they're going to hate you, and then they'll love you again. That's the cycle.
That's all we want.
But yeah, that's what I did. I did mostly bar mitzvahs, and then it got to a point where I was like, I'm getting older. I don't want to do this stuff anymore. So the companies that I worked for tried to get me to kind of take control of their wedding division, their wedding side of things. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't just pull this out of nowhere. And they're like, well, I don't know. Look at companies like SCE, see how they do stuff. So
I love that so much. Everyone's such a biter.
I mean, really, that's what a lot of companies wanted you to do. They look at the big companies and they're like, all right, they're doing something right. So let's do
cancel
that.
culture and biting is what's just like eating me alive these days. Yeah. Anyways,
but I mean, so I tried doing that, and then it wasn't the right format because they were still the owners of the company. They wanted me to go out and build up a brand, but it wasn't. And again, I was just the DJ. I worked with an MC, so I wasn't the face of the company. And I was kind of losing the passion for it because the kids' parties, nobody wanted to be there. In these Jewish areas, these kids are going to 50 bar mitzvahs, 100 bar mitzvahs a year, every weekend. I used to go do an afternoon party and then go like a couple towns over and do a night party. And it was the same kids. Nobody wanted to be there by the end of the bar mitzvah season.
Yeah, you're playing the same fucking 5 songs in a row, exact same order. Like, how do people not realize that? It's
It was rough. No, I felt like, and then the parents don't want to be there. Your baby's basically just babysitting. That's why we bring in the Harlem Globetrotters to do parties and things like that, because people are sick and tired.
Bringing the Harlem Globetrotters.
Actually, I think it was the Washington Wizards, but one of those I've done before. Absolutely, we brought in them.
So good.
But I mean, we did parties with but so it got to a point where I'm like, I just this isn't meaningful, and I want to. When I was doing the weddings, the couples were meeting with the owner of the company, and then they were doing the planning with the MC. And I'm like, I'm the guy where if I walk away for 3 minutes, the party stops. Like, the music's over, and nobody cares about the MC at a wedding past the intros. Like, it revolves around the music. So it was right about this time that I was realizing this, that I started talking to Jason Janai, and he's like, well, you got to see how we do things. And it really was. It's like, I'm in full control. It's like I have my own. It's like I have my own brand.
Did you hit him as you were the spy? Like, they were, because they told you to go and see what SCE doing. So did you come in as a spy? You were like, it wasn't as Janai. Let me see what you're doing. Is that how you played it?
No, it really was. It wasn't as direct as that. I mean, they told me to kind of do my research. I tried it, and I was like, this isn't going to work this way. And then I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with it. And then Janai found out through some other people I wasn't happy. We talked at the DJ Expo one year at the nightclub at the Borgata. Bottle service, everybody's drunk. And I'm like,
the best time to talk.
Right. And I'm like, great. I just talked to the guy that I wish I could be working for, and he's not even going to remember me in the morning. And then the next morning, I see him like right outside of the expo floor, and he's like, hey, by the way, I know we were drinking all last night, but like, let's meet next week. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, this is serious. So I mean, and then he told me how we do things, which really is like Nick Spinelli, Jeff Scott Gould, like all, like, everybody's got their own brand under
totally
SCE.
100%.
We deal with our own couples. I mean, Jason Janai doesn't have to know anything about my wedding, and it will go off perfect because I have my own equipment. I have my own staff. It's like I have my own franchise under SCE. That's how we do it. So I'm in full control. And now I'm forming relationships with the couples. I get to know them. I know where they went to school. I know who's coming, like what friends are there. I know that this song is an inside job, and it lets me do my job so much better now that I'm not just showing up the day of without ever meeting them before. So this is what I always wanted. I never wanted to have my own company and my own staff and all that stuff to deal with. So I don't have to worry about contracts and stuff like that. I just have to worry about the planning part of it. So the way that we do
so much, dude. That's
so
awesome.
It just made perfect sense to me. And I mean, I wish I loved the other companies I worked for. I don't have anything bad to say about any of the old companies I worked for in the past. But I mean, this way of doing things is just so great. And now I'm taking, the way that it works out, like I said, it's me and my assistant Vincent. And I'm now the MC for the first 20 minutes of the night. So 15 years of watching good MCs and bad MCs, I pick and choose. Like, I like what this guy does. I hate that he does that though. And I kind of made my own personality on the microphone, just after watching all of these really, really amazing and some not so amazing MCs.
Your go-to is, I don't know about you, but I'm getting fucked up tonight. Hey, let's go.
But like I always say, like because I came from the bar mitzvah world, like I make the joke, but I'm like, I am not the guy that's like, put your hands up in the air, like over every single song. Like that's just not what we do. And
But you scratch it in, right? You're like, hands up, hands up, hands up in the air, hands up in the air.
No,
Wasn't that
he's
like
waiting.
a
He's waiting for that new line dance, the Drew Infused Shuffle, that'll be coming out here
Huge
soon.
shuffle.
And
Somebody
it's-
has to make that. Phrase, get on that.
Put your hands up in the air. Put your hands up in the air. Now move the feet. Now move the feet. Now move the feet.
Get
Crushing
Scooter
the
Gang
game.
out. Yeah.
That's dude. All you guys at SCE are always just crushing the game. We get to hang out with you at Expo. We got to go to the dinner, and it's such an honor. We're super close with Janai and Spinelli and JSG and Birdman, and everybody is like just so amazing, dude. You guys are always super welcoming, and we're very stoked about it, and we're huge fans. I wish I could have something SCE out here in LA. Then that's what we're doing. But yeah, no, it's amazing, dude. I'm stoked for you. It is a good thing to have your own brand under something that does that. I'm trying to, I started self-contracting for myself as well. I'm not doing any of my own stuff, so I'm just trying to have my own brand in my own in these self-contracts. So yeah, that's dope, dude.
And working with a big group of guys like that, I mean, I learned so much. Like if I have a night off, I'm like, who needs help? I want to come out and watch you. I mean, there's just everybody does things a little different, and a thing, there's multiple ways of doing it right. I do believe that. Like I said, I think some guys can play songs longer, some guys can quick mix and it works for them, and the other way will work for the other person. Like but it's every time I go, I have my notepad out and I'm writing, like, I forgot about that song. Like that's awesome. Like that's a perfect dinner song, or something like that. But I mean, it's just great to be around a bunch of guys that all have so many great ideas and so many talents, like you said, Bird, who can, photographer, video, anything, he'll figure it out. And like he's, anything you need, he'll figure it out. He's that guy.
And even your guys' just social media game is just on another planet. I mean, is that something that you're leaning in on a little bit more? You got the 360 camera. Are you bringing out like a videographer? Like what's something that you're doing to help with that? Because we all have to push it harder and harder.
Yeah, and that's that's probably, if you ask Janai, that's probably my biggest struggle right now, is keeping up with that. This whole way of doing things is still, 5 years, but it's still like, it's still so new to me that I'm so focused on making sure everything happens right at the party.
Of course,
that's
a struggle in itself.
That taking out my phone is the last thing I think about, the capturing stuff and, all that. So, I am slacking on the social media compared to some of the other guys at the company. And I'm trying to do
out
more.
some good shit, though. I will give you credit because I have watched your TikToks, and I like what you do in that it's live. You are putting out it's more of a live thing and not just the phoned in, not phoned in. I shouldn't say that. I should say like it's live, and I like that TikTok is live because then it shows that the crowd liked it, right? Yeah. Mixing something that you would never play live. Sometimes I do that in myself, so I shouldn't say. I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way, because like on a mixtape or something like that, I'm definitely leaning in on stuff that I would never pull off live because, it sounds dope, right? But you're driving in a car and it is what it is, where I think, I haven't figured out TikTok, and I do know that some guys are crushing it.
Yeah.
I personally, if I'm watching it, I like to see the audience behind it. So I guess that's where I would say.
Talk about a minute rant. I could do an hour rant on TikTok.
Wait. Let's rant him. Hit him. Hit him with the rant. Now you're fucked. Now rant him.
Are we going right now?
No.
Shout, let it all out.
Okay.
Do it.
Don't start yet. Don't
60
start
seconds
yet.
on the clock. No, put it full screen. 60 seconds on the clock. Here we go.
Okay. My rant's not about TikTok because we're going to spend way longer on that. But I'm gonna do a rant right now, and it is on how we look at ourselves and present ourselves. Also on social media.
Tell when to go, views.
Go for it.
Go.
Okay. I hate it when DJs that aren't Diplo or Skrillex or somebody like that, call what they do a performance. I hate it when they call the people that they're playing for their fans, stuff like that. Like, realize what we're doing here. Okay, we're one moving part of a party or a nightclub or something like that. Unless your name is on there and people are coming out and paying big bucks to see you up there on the stage, like, it's not a performance. Unless you're doing tricks and spin tricks and making stuff live, you're not performing. You're playing music, and it's a very important job that we're doing. But I mean, oh my God, the oh my God, my performance last weekend was so amazing. You performed? What did you do? You played 3 minutes and 30 seconds of Usher? Yeah, like, that's not a performance.
Well,
what if they do a spin trick right before? What if they do like a backspin?
I don't consider when I do a performance. I you know, it's even when I'm scratching and stuff like that. Like, I'm not Jazzy Jeff. That's a performance. Okay. So
I will say, who are you to judge my performance? Okay.
Just that word gets me so much. And I have a friend who he calls it that, and we have agreed to disagree on that. And you know, but that's just my take on it. If you want to call it whatever you want, that's fine. But
I just have gigs. That's all I have.
Yeah,
gigs.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I have events or I have gigs. That's what I kind of, you know, take it as. But yeah, I didn't want TikTok. I can't fit into 60 seconds. I'm not gonna. We could talk about TikTok.
All right, what's your TikTok?
Yeah, I spent right now. I spent a lot of time watching TikTok before I decided what I want to do on it, and I've already realized that there's no rhyme or reason to it. I mean, I was joking about it with
flicking.
Yeah, I mean, and at this top, there's people that have gotten big on TikTok and people that have been called out on TikTok that have been spoken about before that we don't even have to get into. But the bottom line is, if you're making it for the DJ community, you're never going to get viral because there's not that many DJs that are watching. Nobody's going to care that much about it. So you want to, I mean, I love watching, Chris Villa and people like that are, you know, that are posting videos on Instagram. And I'm like, I'll watch that all day. Oh my God, they're amazing. But like, they're not going to go viral. You know, these guys that are singing into the camera, doing it that way, like you said, they might get picked up on TikTok and it might make it to the For You page and they might get big. But like you said, that's not a representation of them. I realized I don't want to use, and this is hard because I'm working with Jason Jani, who's so focused on social media, and Nick Spinelli, who did blow up off of TikTok. But I'm not looking. I don't want to go viral. I don't want to be famous on social media. I want a potential client to look at my social media and go, I could picture myself there. I could picture this happening at my party. So that's why, I mean, the Nick Spinelli, I watched him, and he is showing live footage from his parties, like you said, and reactions of people. And that's true. That's what you're getting when you get him at a wedding. You're right. That's way better to me.
But it's 100% real and live. Like Nick, there's nothing unreal or live about Nick. Nick is being Nick, and he's crushing it. And I love it. Right? It's awesome. But
I decided that's what I wanted. That's the route that I want to take. I don't want to sit here and, you know, in my, you know, on my home DJ setup and start coming up with, like you said, creative stuff that I'll never play out live.
I'll try it. I will say, like Eric Rhodes. Eric Rhodes is crushing on TikTok. Eric Rhodes started during the pandemic, and that you weren't playing live, right. and he got big not playing live. So he's kind of the one that started it. And 100% respect for Eric Rhodes, because he started that whole fad, and he was doing it before. He was doing it basically when there was no other option, right? And that's how he got famous, right? So I respect his game, and I respect how he's doing it. I guess, you know, it's the copy and cancel culture that I hate. So, you know, I'll say that. Yeah. But I just want it to evolve, and I want people to be unique. Fuck, be unique. Sometimes I feel the DJ community likes to rip off way too much, to where they take someone that is doing something unique, and it's now become awful. It rips it off, and it bugs the fuck out of me.
I mean, isn't it the same thing as like, pop music and stuff like that? Like, oh, this works, so let's just do it a million times. Like,
Still bugs me though.
Yeah.
I still can't. I mean, I don't know. Especially with branding in a tight community, I just feel that it's really obvious to go, hey, everyone's behind him. Like, hey, that guy, right? With pop music, it's like, oh, whatever. I don't know.
yeah,
I-
I just
I just think that people just need to be the true version of themselves
Yeah.
on there, and whatever that might be, it'll be okay, like, and as much as I've had an opinion about this in the last few episodes, like, it is annoying to see things, and it's cringeworthy to me a lot of times to see stuff, and I'm like, that's not me. But again, I'm not like a big cheeseball guy either, like on the mic or that kind of stuff. Like, that's just not me. So I think if you can be true to yourself and show whatever that is, that you're going to be successful in that way. And two, clients will know, who they're getting if you are true to yourself. You're this guy who's up there, Carlton, and you're not that at the wedding, like, I don't think that's a good look.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the best thing I've heard of this whole thing. It's like, hey, that's great. Just be true to yourself. That's all you can ever say is be true to yourself, and that's what's selling on TikTok, and that's what you're telling everybody when if people are talking shit, they're just like, look, I'm just being true to myself, and it is what it is, and that's how I am, and run it.
Totally.
Yeah, I did like a cheesy wordplay on TikTok. It was like it was Scooter's mix of Semi Charmed Life, and I was going into it was like All Star at a wedding, and it's like, I want something else, like Somebody from All Star, and like it got a laugh, and everybody liked it, and like one comment was like wedding DJs are so cheesy or something. I'm like, yeah, we are, yeah, that's the whole point of it. Like, thanks for pointing, like, who are you, like, and. But I mean, yeah, I mean, that's what I did at the party, and that's what I would do at another party if I thought that vibe was right and everybody liked it. It was the end of the night, everybody's drunk, and we're going through those whole moments.
I like that mix, and I do the exact same, literally exact same mix. I write it out on that exact same edit. It works, and
I love it.
Hey, and it's 90s, and it's the same exact year.
Yeah,
that's what kind of I feel plays on it.
Yeah, so I just try to show what I would do at your wedding and not try to fake it. Like I mean, these people that are doing it in a closed environment with again with green screens and doing stuff like that, like it's cool, and maybe you'll get big as a personality on TikTok, but like you're not going to have that at the wedding. It's not going to be the same thing at the wedding, like so I mean, or the club or whatever.
Hey, we shouted him out the last episode, Justin the DJ. He's doing something where he's doing some green screen stuff and he's making it work,
and that's not who I was talking about. I like what he does a lot because he's funny with it. Yeah. He shows his personality, and he's one person that can show his personality without being at the event, and you still get it. So, and then he also does the ones at the event too. But like, I like that about him, that he can do something in a closed environment, and you're like, oh, but I get his personality coming out of this. It's not just the wordplay or the two opposite songs.
So, that's exactly the same.
Hunter was not talking about him at all.
No, I didn't think you were. I was just shouting him out in that.
Yeah, for sure.
There are ways to do it correctly, and again, who are we? We're running this crappy YouTube channel and this crappy thing, and fuck, it doesn't matter if you're crushing the numbers. Who cares? We're nobodies, right, dude. So don't listen to us DJs out there.
Just know that when I watch you, I cringe every time.
Oh, hey, let's hit him with something else. We're waking up.
Right,
1, 2, 3, let's go.
Did we start recording yet?
Are we there yet?
It is crazy. We did get this another call. I'm gonna play it. It's specifically about today, which is crazy because it's like we do this live, but we don't do it live, so here we go.
Hey, I'm a little shy, so I don't want to leave my name, but I just want to say I love the show, but this week, this Demand guy that you have on is by far my favorite guest you've ever had. He's the total package. He's a great DJ. He's interesting. He's handsome. Tell me how I could find out more about him. What's his Instagram and socials and all that stuff. But he's awesome. He's the best guest you've ever had. Keep up the good work, guys. Take care.
That yellow line, yellow line coming in full effect.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. We already have fans. That's great.
I think they said their name was DJ Command or something like that.
I like this guy. I like this guy a lot.
He said he's
and
in
guys,
command.
everybody listening out there, call in. I want to hear from you too. Let's talk. Call in right now. Call, give them the hotline number, and let's talk
or
right now.
562-246 YOLO.
All right. I see the phone-
562-246 YOLO.
I see the phones lighting up right now. Take a call. Let's see who we got on the line. Come on. Don't leave me hanging.
Hello? Liquid Death? Oh, you're still not going to sponsor us? Got it. All right. See ya. Bye.
We were hanging out at I want to say it was Mex. We only got do we have any other segments? But I want to ask this. I'm sorry, and I'll restart it over. Is there any other segments we want to hit? Views?
No, I mean, we hit a lot already with him today.
Oh, we
so.
wanted to do the travel tips.
Oh, travel. Yeah.
Oh, travel. Yeah.
Actually, let's start that over. Let's just hit him with travel.
All right. Let's hit him with some travel hacks.
I wanna fly away.
Travel hacks.
All right. So, any tips or advice you could give to traveling? And this doesn't always mean, flying. It could mean you're driving, a couple hours to a gig, anything like that.
Hey, yeah. I wanna take full credit that I was the one that pushed DJ Demand on getting TSA pre, because even though it hasn't been successful for him, it was definitely the move. Oh. And it has been beneficial at least one point. Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, I was like, I didn't even know really what it did or anything like that. And I'm like, wait, it's like $80 for 5 years. Like, no brainer. Like, yeah, do it. Or don't do it so that the line's shorter for us that already have it. But I mean, yeah, it is a no brainer to have pre-check.
DJs, if you are a DJ, seriously, real talk, and you fly one time a year, get TSA pre. And to your credit, what you're saying is where you're like, don't do it because then it makes the line longer. The only time that it's ever actually ruined my line, the line was in Hawaii, because I feel it's all old rich white people, and the TSA free line was so long and the real line was like shorter.
That's
dude. And you know what else fucking grinds my gears about that shit is you're in the TSA pre-line and you're like about to buzz through, and then you got this asshole who's taking his shoes off and his computer out. And I'm like, bro, that's the whole reason you got this, so you don't have to do that. Go faster so I can go. I'm still the new guy that's like, you sure we don't have to do that? Like, really? We don't like it? But it's great, dude. Especially with a DJ having two computers and an iPad and all that stuff.
Dude, my DJ bag will have I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but my DJ bag has like 2 laptops, an iPad. I got cash inside of it. I got sometimes when I travel far, I'll have a full like mic system inside of it. I have so much shit in my DJ bag, and I still actually get pulled, but I can't even imagine not having TSA pre, how often it would happen.
But yeah,
yes, sign up.
This happened because last year, Christmas time, I went to Disney with my family, and I flew back on Christmas Eve, and the line was, I've never seen anything like it before. And you were like, why don't you have pre-check? So I went out and did it the next day I did it.
Well, no, I didn't. I actually think I texted you almost every single day because I was like, here's the link.
Right.
Do it now. And then the next day I texted you like, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Because I get so mad at my friends that don't have it. I don't even understand. It's a must. Everybody that's listening to the show, TSA pre, get on it now.
And I was so excited. And then that was December, and I get it just in time for February. Just in time for the DJ show in Vegas. and I'm texting you. I'm so excited. I don't even care about the show. I finally get to use pre-check, and I get there to Newark Airport, and I am randomly selected for a full like check.
So
Like,
good.
you gotta be kidding me. So I do that, and then on the way home, it was closed. Pre-check wasn't even available. Like, I had to wait on the line with everybody else anyway. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I hype it up so much, and he gets just fucked on it. It's the best ever. It's so good.
So
But
I
okay,
think,
travel hacks.
yeah. So I don't fly that often. So I'm gonna, I guess, talk about the driving travel hacks, which is, again, for if you're a wedding DJ and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of you guys already know this. I was trying to figure out what to say because a lot of it just sounds like common sense. But I mean, in Jersey, I picked a spot where I am an hour from New York City, an hour from Philly, an hour from the mountains, an hour from the shore. I am around everything. So every party that I do, if I'm under an hour, I'm like, oh my God, this is like nothing at all. I mean, this weekend I'm going to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is like 2.5 hours away tomorrow. And then Saturday, I'm like 45 minutes. That's an easy one. And then Sunday, I'm an hour north up in North Jersey by like New York City. So I'm all over the place. And I mean, obviously,
that's my life.
Yeah, obviously basic stuff is just allow whatever, however much time you think you need, allow more time, especially Jersey. We're talking now summertime, going to the beach, like that, those areas, just allow extra time.
Hey, real talk. Can you call my wife? She just did. I just want her to be able to hear this exact same thing because and she'll go, oh, hey, we got an hour. I should be there on time. You're like, no. You needed to be there like an hour ago. We don't need this. So if that's what you need to like expect.
I do everything. It's different for everybody because they live in different areas or whatever, or they have their, like, I pack my van the day before, like today after this, I'm going to go pack my van for tomorrow. So I can just wake up and go. I just make sure that, my day of my wedding, I do nothing. I tell my wife, I'm like, I'm not scheduling meetings. I just muted myself. I'm not scheduling meetings. I'm not going to the grocery store. Like, I am not doing anything except for getting ready for this wedding. I just want my mind.
Quick pause. What does wedding week of demand look like? Is it like Monday? You're prepping. You're doing any calls on that? Like, I actually asking for a friend, aka myself.
Monday's usually my weekend, where I don't do. anything.
Monday's the Lord's Day, right, Fuse?
Yeah, Monday is definitely the Lord's Day.
That is
I
what
don't
we
know
call
which
the
Lord, but it's somebody's day.
We would try and record episodes on Monday where like I finally called Fuse and I was like, dude, it's the Lord's, aka my day. That's the Lord, me being the Lord, my Lord's day. This is my shit. Monday is my day off, dude. No more. Like my family's not in the house. Sunday doesn't count because the family's in the house. They all want my attention. Monday, nobody's here. I want my day off.
Yeah,
that's it.
See, for me, because my wife works in a comedy club, same thing for her. She works all weekend. So Monday's like our date. We'll go out to dinner. Our date night, whatever. So yeah, Monday really is for us. I have an online, we use Calendly, which is like, where my couples can just log on. It's connected to my Google Calendar and they can pick a time that works. So I have like my schedule Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can schedule a meeting anytime with me. They're all virtual. So they can pick any time that they want. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I could have 4 or 5 meetings in a day, or I could have nothing, it's just whatever they want to schedule. I save Mondays for my personal stuff. And then those couple of couples that are like, save everything to the last minute and it's their weddings next week. And I'm like, all right, pick any time you want during Monday and I'll be there. I have the day completely reserved for you. Really that's kind of it, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Thursday, sometimes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're doing weddings. I mean, at this point now, from now until December, at least 2 weddings every weekend, if not 3. So that's kind of it. And I can't believe I used to do the bar Tuesday nights and Thursday nights, 10 to 2 on top of that. Cause now I'm just like, thank God it's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. I'm like, thank God I don't have to start thinking about going to work right now. I'm just, it was great. It was amazing. But like, I'm very much my free time since things open back up again, my free time is way too valuable. So I mean,
Needs those
yeah.
Tuesday night gaming drops and Call
Yeah.
of Duty.
But that's my wind down time for me. And that's the other thing too. My wife goes to bed around like 10 o'clock at night usually. So it's like 10 o'clock comes around and the same computer that I'm doing all of my work on and getting ready for, I just unplug the HDMI and plug it right into the gaming computer and get my controller and my headset and like, let's go. So yeah, I mean, that's my unwind time is as post 10, 11 o'clock at night, kind of chill out,
Circling back, talking about travel tips. We know you go to New York for quite a few gigs. What's parking like there? How do you kind of deal with that and work around that?
First tip is just don't, if you can avoid it. New York, if you're driving, I drive a big, Ford Transit high roof van. I mean, it sucks. First of all, when you talk about Long Island, especially if you ever go to Long Island, there's parkways and you can't drive your tall vans on the parkways. You're not supposed to. So you have to find alternate routes of getting to places and you got to watch clearance. I mean, even on like a 9-foot tall van sometimes. So that's difficult. When you get into New York City, I mean, we don't like charging travel fees because like, why should the couple, have to pay just because I live further away. So like if I'm driving 2 hours away, like if I'm going up to Cape May, New Jersey, all the way south as possible, sometimes I won't even charge a travel fee, or if I do, it's very small just to cover the gas at this point, and the extra hour of driving or whatever. But when you go into New York City, you are spending at this point now, from my house, probably $60 on gas. Tolls, or I don't even know what they're up to. Just Easy Pass. I mean, probably $50 on tolls, between bridges and tunnels and all of that. Then you get to the parking, and there's New York City is like, commercial parking only between this hour and this hour, and I don't have commercial plates, so you can't park anywhere in New York City. Just forget it. I mean, in a normal car, you can't find.
You just have to pay like top dollar.
You just have to pay, but. In a car, you would go to a parking garage. You can't even go to a parking garage if you have a high roof van. So you have to you look in advance and find these open air lots, where you can where there's nothing above it. And the last time I had to do one of those, they were like, yeah, we're charging you for 2 parking spaces. So it was $120 to park my car for the event. And then they're fighting with you, and they're like, well, you got to park, New York, everything. You've got to park this close. I'm like, well, I got to unload my equipment first. And they're like, well, do you want the parking spot or no? So now I'm like holding speakers above, like, it's such a mess.
So there's no unloading like options like at the hotel or whatever.
It depends where you are. I mean, the last time I was there, I was at this place, Tribeca 360. Beautiful. They had their own AV package there. I rolled up in my car. It was amazing. So I just parked in a garage.
I might cry.
Sometimes
I might just dry a tear.
If you could fit it in a car, or like I might even rent just a low roof van next time, just so I can avoid some of this stuff. But I've done some stuff where it's in a restaurant, and you have no choice. You got to park an open air lot.
NV200. You need that NV200. That's what I got.
Yeah,
I drive in those low roof. I
got the giant. Yeah. So I mean, the easiest one that we have sometimes is easy is we do Saturday Night Live every week. Our company.
So tight.
Yeah.
Dude, we didn't even talk about that, Fuse. So tight.
So Christian CL, he's the one that kind of hooked that up. It's his connection.
Shout out CL.
But we basically when the guests get to Saturday Night Live, they bring them into they call it the Peacock Lounge, which is just like the place to chill before you move into the actual show. So they used to, before COVID, they used to have like just an opening comedian, and then that would be it. It would be quick. Then during COVID, they're like, well, we have to give people tests, rapid tests, and make them wait 2 hours. So they're like, we don't want to hear comedy for 2 hours and then go into a show. We need the energy up. So they started bringing us into DJ. And in the beginning, like they had to sit, they couldn't even get together. Now it's like a kind of more of a party, but like they want, they just want us to entertain, and it's not, people aren't going there expecting to see a DJ. So you can't play it like a nightclub, right. And the people in charge there are like, we want it to be upbeat. We want that. But then like, I'm like, no, these people are coming from Brooklyn. And I'm like, I'm playing like New York City hip hop and stuff. And I pulled out like every wordplay, every trick in the book. And before I knew it, I'm like, these people are liking it because I'm giving them a show. They wanted to see a show. I gave them a performance. Now
Yeah.
I gave them a performance.
Hey, the performance comes out. Here we go. Talk
But,
more
like-
about performances, dude.
but-
Let's go.
But that's what it is. We're setting the tone. We're setting the mood. But so it's really cool. It's something that we get to do. Unfortunately, Saturday Night Live happens on Saturdays, so we are always doing weddings. I mean, this season I didn't even get to go just because I didn't have a free Saturday that they were doing the show. But like, we usually get to each do at least one a season, which is just so much. It's just so fun and so cool to do something different. And as a comedy fan, extra cool for me. But
Do you get to go watch the show after you're done, or do you gotta like do the
no, we're
outro
packing
too?
up and getting out of there. I wish. I've still never seen it live. But what I was gonna I got into this because of the parking. Rockefeller Center, you go in and you're driving like right in the middle of the heart of Midtown Manhattan, and you go down this ramp underneath the street, and somehow Christian worked it out where we pull right up to the loading dock and you leave your van there, and that's it.
Oh my god,
It's like you think you're going into the most stressful situation ever, and I mean, you have to get your ID checked like 4 times all along the way, but like once you do it once, you know where you're going and you're fine. Like, it is the easiest load-in I've ever done in New York City. And while you're there while I was there last time, like the artists walk through there too. So first of all, I'm seeing like history there. You're seeing like the sets being loaded in. But last time, like I got there and like there was traffic, so I run to the bathroom. Me and my assistant, we both run to the bathroom. We walk right out, and right in front of me is like Ed Sheeran standing right there. So it's really cool just to be like in that area, that building, as a comedy fan, as a music fan, and seeing all that stuff. But
what gear are you bringing?
So we plug into their sound system. All we really need is one speaker. And some of the guys bring like a controller and a facade, and we bring uplights too. So we light up the whole place. But I have been bringing my DJ booth with me because, again, I want to put on a show. I don't want to hide it behind a facade. So back when I did it last, I didn't have the TV booth. I had like the T style, like, where your turntables are out and everybody can see everything. So I brought that out, and it was great because it's all in one case, and you would think it's harder, it's bigger, but like it's just one trip. So I bring that. My assistant brings my 3 cases of uplights, and we stacked like a speaker on top of it. We do it in one trip. That's the idea, because you got to go through this whole building. You want to do it in one trip.
I talked you into buying the Toad booth.
Yes.
Shout out DJ Toad.
That's
at
all you.
the Mex episode. Change your life. Does the T booth even come out anymore? Where you at with it?
So this is the thing right now. This is where we're at. I'm going through it in my head. I have this beautiful booth before the Toad booth, which
booth.
It's kind of like the Bun booth, and it's wooden though, and I bought it a month before Bun told me he was making this booth. Otherwise, I would have just bought his. But it's all in one piece. It's big. It's heavy. It's got my whole rack inside of it. And the worst part is just you wheel it to where you want it to go. You and your assistant have to lift it up, break your back, and then you put it down, and then you're done. And that's it. It's super easy. But now I've got the Toad booth, and I just wheel it in, and I don't even need any help. It's 5 minutes setup, and you're done. I mean, I've got my whole rack in there. I've got room for extra stuff. I mean, you don't need anything else. It's amazing, and I can't believe like I'm so happy. You really did talk me into that, and now my old booth is sitting in the office. Jani's texting me every week, when are you getting it out of there? I wanted to give people the option, and every single couple's like, yeah, we want the TV booth. Like, we get a monogram, we get pictures on there, like
all day.
So I'm like, what am I doing with this old booth? Now, here's the thing. My old booth has my Rain 12s and my S11 mixer in there, and it's just sitting in there doing nothing. My Toad booth, I got the 50-inch one, so it's not giant. It's not like a 65-inch screen where I got all this extra room. So I have the Rev 7 in there, which has been working out great. The more I use it, the more I like it. In the beginning, it was a little hard getting used to like the pushing to keep it like the people have been complaining about the just getting the like the plus minus button for the pitch bend and all that. But like I'm getting used to it more. I'm liking it, but part of me is like, I want the big platters. I do miss that. But so now this is my dilemma, is like, I could put the big platters and everything in this booth and keep the Rev 7 just for loose stuff, bar gigs or whatever.
Yes.
But I only have the 50-inch booth, and I use 2 laptops, and that second laptop's going to be right on top of the pitch. Like I'm nervous that it's not going to be big enough. There's not going to be any extra room. It's going to be tight.
You put a swing on the side to where,
the
I
arm.
think you put like an arm on the side to where basically You don't see it the whole time, and then once you start, you just swing it out, and he's standing off on the side. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I want to do. Actually, my idea was to get a small facade, the same height as the booth, black, because my booth is black, and just do the wings. Do like one piece in the front, one piece on the sides, and then that way he could kind of stand, like we swing the arm around, and he could be a little bit off to the side.
Yeah, and
everything
you can throw
high.
some bags or whatever on there, but
But I mean, I like having the option, but realistically, I'm like, I'm never using that other one, and it's just sitting there. And I have an S11 mixer that's not doing anything. It's driving me crazy. I'm like, yeah.
So Joe Bunn I just got an email from Joe Bunn that basically said that the Bunn booths are back. Family, the Bunn booths are back, and I'm with you. I might order one. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet, but I want to just throw the Rev 7 in that and call it a day. Because that being said, ironically, after I talked you into buying it, I've only I have the Pro X one.
Right.
If Joe Bunn doesn't listen, but if he was listening, I have the Pro X one that's like a rip off of that that I got for basically free, and that one all of a sudden I've been taking it all the time, and it's mostly because it just so happened I'm on grass. I'm on here. I'm here, there. So there are times when you can't take that Toad booth out. And so it is nice to have something. But the way yours is it's unmovable.
It's got monster wheels on that thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it really has, you
No, the other one. No,
Oh.
your old one. Your
Oh,
old
the
one
old
is just like unmovable. So like,
Yeah,
so I have the Pro X one that's kind of movable for when I'm on grass or I'm like in a fucked up situation that I can't bring the Toad
Well,
booth.
I did take out the rack and put everything in the new booth, so it is a lot lighter now. So I was thinking about doing what you said, like switching. I'll put like a 1000 SRT in there, make the booth as light as possible, and then just hook it up to a 6-space rack, behind me, like the people with the whoreboards do, and then use it that way. So I think I still do want to keep it. I don't think I want to sell it, just to have that option if people want it. I just am trying to figure out, since I'm using the TV booth more, do I want to maybe put the actual 12s and S11 back in there, or am I fine just keeping it the Rev 7? Because I mean, look, I could scratch on that. I could scratch on an SX2. It doesn't matter. But like, I like, there is a visual part of it too. I think people do like to see that as well.
Yes is the answer. If you're using it all the time, you should definitely be on the turntables. And
Yeah.
I'll say this because every time I show up and I'm using turntables, the venue, if it's a new venue, the venue goes, "Oh, you got the wikis."
Yeah.
And I
You're
go,
right. Yeah.
wiki.
I mean, yeah, it's
I
definitely,
make sure they know.
It's a conversation, point, and people say, "Oh, who cares what you're mixing on?" But like, I'll tell you what, it might not be every party, but at some point, maybe once a weekend or so, somebody's going to come up and point it out or start a conversation. I once had the father of the groom. I didn't know it was the father of the groom. It was before the wedding even started. Came up to me, this old school, like hip hop, fan that used to break dance back in the day. And he's like, "Oh, you got the real deal stuff." And I'm like, I had a whole conversation with him before realizing he was the father of the groom. And then we're best friends. I'm calling him out on the microphone by name. Like that alone, it's like, yeah, that's why we're, it does have its advantages. You can't say that it doesn't. I mean, I get it. You could do similar types of things, and especially if you're not scratching, you can do it on anything. But
it's a look, and I've had every single venue that I've showed up to go, "Oh wow, you bring out the real things. I love that. Can I get your card?" And I haven't even started playing yet, and I'm going, "Oh yeah, here's the card." So
Digital Dave said
that.
Yeah, Digital Dave said every single time he brings it out. Yeah.
No, I think it matters. I think it's a big deal. Fuse, we got any last segments? Is there any last questions?
I think that's it. I think you gotta hit us with your social medias where everybody can find you.
Yeah, pretty much at DJ Demand on everything. SCE Event Group, more about the company, but at DJ Demand. And then I tried to get Demand Gaming, but that was taken on one platform. So I'm DJ Demand Gaming if you actually care to watch me and Fuse play Call of Duty once in a while. Doing something there. But I don't, again, that's for fun. DJ Demand is what I go off of with everything pretty much.
I think it's so tight that you were able to get DJ Demand. That's That to me seems like that would be a tough URL to grab.
The website, so I didn't have the website in the beginning. It belonged to an actual like company that sold products. But there was one guy that knew me, and he was in the business, and he bought it. Like he put in like a thing out, and he owned a DJ company. He bought it, and he was like, "All right, so do a party for free, and I'll give you the website address." And I was like, "How about you keep the website address, and I never work for you again?" And he's like, "All right, I'll just give it to you." And I'm like, "You, oh my god." But yeah, there are a couple of DJ demands. Before me, I think it was before me. I mean, there was a happy hardcore rave guy in Europe, and then, but
you guys should be best friends. Happy hardcore. That's like right up your alley.
so that normally doesn't get too confused. But every once in a while, I do get tagged on Instagram for these strip clubs in Atlanta. Apparently, there's a DJ demand strip club DJ in Atlanta, and most recently, I think that there's a DJ demand in Boston actually too. But I was first for those guys at least. But yeah, that's why any social media comes out, I just have to. I don't. What was that one that was gonna be big, and then they found out it was Russian owned, and then stopped? Like I have a DJ demand in that one too. Like everything that like if it might be big, like I have to snatch it up, because I don't want to be DJ underscore or the real.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna be it for today. So we just want to say thank you for taking the time to come on the show with us. We appreciate you being here and sharing some knowledge with everybody that listens.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm obviously a fan of you guys and a friend too. So it's cool to be able to do this part of, be a part of this too. Thank you.
Well, once again, we just want to say if you guys are listening and you haven't checked out DMS, make sure you hop on there, use the code Drew and Fuse Show to get your 30% off your first month. Also, make sure you check out the link in the comments below on the YouTube. That'll have an affiliate link for a salsa booth. Drew already said he'll send you a t-shirt if you buy the salsa booth using our link. So, yeah, if you're in the mood for or in the market for a photo booth, make sure you check that out. Also, make sure you're rating and reviewing and subscribing and all that good stuff. Until then, we'll see you next time. Peace.